paisanos. It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. Get ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas and Troopers, the princess and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be hooked on the brothers. To the
Introducing Nintendo Score 64 and win at Taco Bell. Just peel the coin off the lid, score 64, and you could win an N64 system, cash, or millions of other great prizes. And who knows who'll win the Porsche Boxster. It's Score 64 and win, only at Taco Bell.
Tag Team, or else. Mario Kart Double Dash. Drive, throw stuff, switch. Only for Nintendo GameCube. Eerily for everyone. GameCube.
The world a special place. Cherish life and never waste.
Everyone loves a sunshiny day. We're gonna keep it that way.
What's clean is better than dirty, and dirty's meaner than clean.
It's all under helping hand. Mario can't do it alone. He'll spray his water to fly around and clean the sludge that's on the ground.
What's clean is better than dirty, and dirty's meaner than clean.
Super Mario Sunshine, only for Nintendo GameCube. Rated E for everyone.
Say the word, I'll be
Oh my god, guys. Okay, first of all, let's see. Is there echo today? Feel free to troll me if you wish, but James knows he has to tell me the truth. Is there fucking echo today? I swear to God, I will throw this microphone across the room. I think we fixed it. We spent like at least an hour or two after yesterday's stream was over being like, why is it doubling this? Why is it doubling that? So today, I'm also going to show some more clips and stuff because hopefully we've resolved that. I don't know. Technology, I don't know. If the echo some point comes back, just let me know. We'll look at it. Technology. But guys, this is another Melee KO. Yesterday we did the first one, and essentially this is to help us mitigate all the fucking news that's happening right now, because as a lot of you know, we have the Melee Madness podcast that happens every 2 weeks. Usually we talk about, you know, what we're playing, then we go into a few news stories. It usually takes us a few hours. We'll pick like random stuff like, oh, look, this game came out on the Switch today, or oh, like this article came out, it's kind of stupid, whatever. Oh, look, they think that we want always online, like why would we want that? So we'll have little articles like that, and then we'll kind of just talk about whatever we want. But lately, there's just been so much stuff. I'm like, it's kind of impossible for us to cover all of this in the podcast. We need some kind of solution, at least while things are firing off as quickly as they are. So that's what this kind of show is for. It's not like a super, super long show necessarily. I'll just kind of go until I feel like, all right, we've talked enough today. Oh God, I saw the word echo and I freaked out, but Insidious is making a joke. We're good. But yeah, that's what this is for. I'll probably go for like a few hours today. I do want to do some blasts from the past as well if we have time. So I'm going to talk about, you know, some of the stuff I woke up to this morning and was just crying laughing at, but I will also go through what I consider the best summary of Gamergate. There's a lot of summaries that are good, but this one is really what I remember. It's pretty much what I'm like, this was so fucking funny, I couldn't take any of this seriously. Obviously, there were serious issues during the time, but the amount of, like, people that flocked to the anti-Gamergate movement, and even some to the pro-Gamergate movement, it's like lolcow fucking city. So we are going to look at some of that today. And then also, Cult of Carl, who is an Ultimate member with us. Thank you, Cult of Carl. He's been raising the alarm on something that happened in December with Insomniac, and we did see some news on that. It has been through the cycle a little bit, but I'm going to talk about it because he wants me to sit down and watch the diversity training that the team at Spider-Man Miles Morales went through. So we will also find time for that today. Hopefully the audio all cooperates. We'll find out, but whatever. It's chaos over here. You guys are used to it. We're not a professional group over here, so... First, I'm going to read chat, and then I'm just going to dive into it. We're also going to look at the Wikipedia article for Sweet Baby because I haven't looked at that yet. So I would love to read that live with you guys and just see what kind of dumb shit they're fucking coming up with today. But first of all, I see Triss in the chat saying, K. Hi, K. Or hi, K. I'm K. Hi, Triss. And she's like, or James, I don't know who's on today. They took Peaches off. Yes, I for one hate Peaches. I fucking hate that song so much. There's just something, like, I don't despise Jack Black necessarily, but there's just something so Jack Black about that song. It just kind of, it bugs me. I don't know anyways. But yes, it is me today. It is me. James and I will be doing the podcast tomorrow night, though, so you will see his beautiful face again soon. Kenzo's here saying, good day, everyone. Good day, Kenzo. Nice to see you. And JT Epsilon is here saying hello. Well, I've got something from JT Epsilon, I believe. Let me check my stuff here. A few of you guys have been sending us stuff. So, yeah, I do have something from JT Epsilon we're going to show later today. Insidious says, interesting that Iron Galaxy was trying to play victim with Batman. I don't think that situation was completely their fault, but they took the job. They don't have clean hands there. Iron Galaxy has been complaining nonstop since the Sweet Baby thing happened. I don't know what the specific Batman issue is because I haven't followed those games too deeply, but is it about the launch not going well for PC? Is that what they were playing victim as? We can look into that today too. But I know James is probably really passionate about that too. So if we don't cover it today, we can also talk about it tomorrow with him. Static's here saying, yo, Static, what's going on? And thank you guys. You're letting me know there's no echo. Thank goodness. Wade is here saying, what? There's no echo? You have changed, K. I know. I missed the council of echoing K. That was kind of fun. Okay, well, James says that the Batman thing is on our feed, so I'll look through the Melee Games tweets as well today just to see what crazy thing is happening. Because as we were going live, well, first of all, as I was prepping the stuff I wanted to talk about live, and the only reason I prepped is because there's just so much shit going on. I don't want to forget all of this stuff I'm laughing at. But as we were going live, I found something about Take This, and they're partnering up with someone, so we're going to talk about that. And also, literally, while the intro was happening, IGN dropped an article that I don't even know how to react. I haven't looked at it yet, but just knowing what it's about alone is just so fucking funny. So there's lots of fucking dumb shit happening. Insidious Bliss says the only echo is coming from journalists regarding SBI. True. And Insidious also says Lego Butts also worked for Iron Galaxy. Lego Butts really got around. I feel like every single time I look at something, it's like, oh, Lego Butts is there? Cool. And like, they weren't even, I mean, they were, I guess, kind of considered prominent during that time, but not really. Like, there were so many people 10 years ago that we kind of act like now, like they're a big deal, or they've like taken a second wave and now they're here. It's all a fucking mess. It's all a fucking mess. But that's how it goes around here. I'm gonna bring up my browser. Oh, look at that. James tweeting out that we're live today. Thank you for doing that, James. And okay, so where should we start? Where should we fucking start? Where's my cursor? Oh my god, my cursor's invisible. Or I'm blind. No, it's literally invisible. Why do all these tech things happen to me? I just wanted to stream. I just wanted to stream. Okay, I can kind of see. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good again. What the fuck? Whew. Give me heart attacks over here. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, we're not professional here. We just have fun. We just care about gaming. That's all we're fucking here for. And hey, the tweet right now about Resident Evil with IGN came up. And so we're gonna fucking talk about it. Because I haven't seen this yet, but holy shit. So James has tweeted, a Resident Evil 5 remake isn't even confirmed, but IGN and those defending Sweet Baby Inc. are already putting in the work to make sure it's rewritten to modern standards. IGN locked comments, of course. And the article is, Resident Evil 5 simply can't be remade, at least not to the standards of Capcom's best work. So the answer is not to remake, but to rewrite. Let's see what these fucking screenshots are. Let me know if the audio clips when I move tabs and stuff. We think we fixed that problem, but let me know if it clips too hard and I need to repeat anything. Okay. Derek says, but ultimately I agree with this writer and basically any other writer that RE5 as it exists is radioactive. Some stuff has to change. A more accurate and modern depiction of African people and cities. Shiva is in a larger role, a higher focus on the exploitation of Africa. Literally just having a game that has black people is racist. Great. That's great. I think the tribal enemies 100% need to go. I can't believe they thought that was a good idea back in the day. Underrated aspect of RE5 was the co-op combat. Part of RE4 was triggering the QTE melee attacks. And then in RE5, you could alternate melee hits on the final boss. Good lord, the fucking tribal people in the swamp. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Yeah, I thought they were just tribal. And of course, IGN locks the comments right away. These people do this fucking constantly, where they're just like, oh, we're gonna tweet out something, and it's gonna upset a bunch of people, but we don't want to show the discourse that's happening, so we're gonna lock this right away to show that we can't prove that people are necessarily disagreeing with us in our thread. You can't ratio us necessarily. And then usually the author also ends up locking everything. But let's take a look at this article because this is just fucking funny. This literally dropped while we were getting ready to go live. So I don't want your notifications. Fuck you, IGN. The Resident Evil game that can't be remade. It's time to rewrite, not remake. With Resident Evil 4's release last year, Capcom's project to remake the glory years of its survival horror series is complete. I'm trying to even remember if I've played this Resident Evil. I think I have. This is the co-op one, if I remember, and anyway, it's been a long time, but I don't remember it being racist. And so the big question is, where next? The obvious answer is to remake 5. But on the game's 15th anniversary, it's clear that moving forward chronologically will take Capcom's remakes into the series' weakest era, an era of gameplay and narrative decisions best left in the past. Resident Evil 5 simply can't be remade, at least not to the standards of Capcom's best work, and so the answer is not to remake, but to rewrite. Resident Evil is a survival horror series, not that you'd know that playing Resident Evil 5. Sure, it features a constant flow of horrific imagery, but RE5 is an action game through and through. That's evident in its cover shooter mechanics, vehicle chases with on-rails turret sequences, and the constant rattle of assault rifles. Even its visual designs evokes the sandy shades of modern military games that experienced mass popularity in the late 2000s. Well, why do you think people like this? The early 2000s, and I wasn't like a big shooter person. You guys know I'm more like the JRPG person or like the tactics games or whatever. But there was like a certain era between, I want to say, like 2001 and 2007 that was just amazing for military games. Absolutely amazing. And there's a reason why people desire that. It's because you could tell any fucking story. It's just unreal that these people can't fucking deal with any of this. Gino's here. Hey, Gino. Gino says, I haven't played any Resident Evil. James says, these people think it's racist because it takes place in Africa, therefore most of the enemies are black. It's just unreal how they want to claim that we need to make things more realistic to what they actually are. And we'll get into that with the Insomniac thing later. Obviously, this is a different studio we're talking about. But just this whole push in general, Sweet Baby is pushing this as well, of we need to make all of our games super accurate, and we need to represent things accurately, we need to represent different races accurately, different genders, all this stuff. If you're putting a game in Africa, it makes sense that the population, you know, like, I don't know. It's just so much. It's just so much, guys. I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying. But anyways, it all speaks to a series that had lost its way. Rather than reflect on the tenets that were the foundation of its existence, Resident Evil 5 looked to the contemporary gaming zeitgeist in an attempt to find a new lease of life. The result is an unholy hybrid of Resident Evil, Gears of War, and Call of Duty. It's as ugly and unwieldy as it sounds. Wait a minute. You're putting Resident Evil, Gears of War, and Call of Duty in the same sentence, and you're saying that sounds like awful? I don't understand. First of all, I like Gears of War quite a bit. I haven't beat them, but I really enjoyed Gears of War. Some of the old Call of Duties are pretty fun as well. And I mean, Resident Evil 2 is probably in my top 50 games, I want to say. It's not like a top 10 for me, but Resident Evil 2 is great. So you're taking like all of these series that a lot of people love. I mean, besides the modern Call of Duty, people love Call of Duty, and they've tanked themselves. But if we're talking about classic early 2000s Call of Duty, that was like the peak for them. So it's just a bad comparison to say that means it's bad. This design appears to be not just a misguided attempt to follow Western successes, but also a misreading of its predecessor. With Resident Evil 4, director Shinji Mikami deftly reinvented the series through the use of a new over-the-shoulder camera angle. The perspective allowed for a more kinetic, action-heavy game. Despite this, Mikami never lost the sight of the terror at the core of Resident Evil. Through use of the enemies that were strategically placed to provide undulating waves of tension and fear, and the inclusion of Ashley as your vulnerable charge, combat encounters were focused on... Is focus spelled properly? Is this my autism coming out? Is this me being Canadian? I don't know if focused is spelled properly. I don't think it is. You're a journalist. You're a fucking journalist. Combat encounters were focused on surviving overwhelming horrors rather than dominating foes. Resident Evil 5, meanwhile, presents its enemies as waves to be gunned down with increasingly powerful weaponry. Hey, dude. For now, with this setup, I'm not doing Rumble just because of the multi-stream aspect of it. I'm trying to see how much this can handle. So every single time I do a stream on this setup, I'm just slowly introducing one more variable to see if it, like, crumbles to the ground. And yesterday it crumbled to the ground. So today, so far, we're okay. We're just gonna see how the tech issues go. But this is a test. Where was I? Okay, anyways, yeah. So their purpose is cannon fodder Oh, I see. Resident Evil 5, meanwhile, presents its enemies as waves to be gunned down with increasingly powerful weaponry. Their purpose is cannon fodder, a wall of meat to slow your progress through levels. Zombies. It's just zombies. I don't know why you have to write it in like this fluffy piece. It's literally just zombies. And those levels are not locations to be explored. Instead, they're largely funnels that push you from entrance to exit. Resident Evil 4 may have replaced the series' traditional continuous structure with discrete levels in an attempt to move away from the backtracking-heavy design of previous games, but it preserved the spirit of locations like Raccoon City Police Station. The village, Salazar's castle, and the island feature interlocking explorable pathways that solidify these locations as authentic spaces rather than obstacle courses. Resident Evil 5 has no interest in this, with the majority of its stages being little more than corridors peppered with dead ends to hide treasures in. Their lack of authenticity means no one will ever mention the Kijuju Ottoman Autonomous Zone in the same breath as Spencer Mansion. A faithful remake of Resident Evil 5 would break Capcom's 7-year streak of brilliant survival horror. By the way, I mean, again, like, people like 5, so I don't see how this would really... I mean, I guess the survival horror aspect is less in this one, but still. James says, good so far, no echo, you're still white. Well, that's fine. Listen, after all the stuff I've been talking about, it's inevitable that I'm going to turn more and more white, right? Because I'm going to become white passing for defending the fact that white males can be in gaming. This is just the natural ascension. I can try turning this down and see if that makes it better, but I don't know. It's just the camera. There, is that better? That's better, I think. Ish. Extra Zero's here saying, love that they locked the comments on IGN and Twitter right away, right? This is always what happens. We're gonna drop something, and then we're gonna scream, crying, and run. It's like they fucking, like, pull off the grenade and just... and then they run, because they're afraid, man. Extra says, also, does the author have any issues with Black Panther and the fact that they use spears and shields? Well... I would be really interested to know. And yeah, exactly. It's just the absolute state of these people reading into fucking everything. All of us here just want to have fun with our video games. We're not worried about it. Like, it's escapism. And then these people come in, they're like, yeah, but, and I'll get to it with the Insomniac stuff later, but things like, they don't have the proper meals that, like, people would eat and stuff like that on the table. This is like what white people would eat. And it's like, who fucking, it's food. It's not important to the plot or anything. It's just fucking like, it's a placeholder in the game. Like, who fucking cares? It's a cutscene. All this is to say that a faithful remake of Resident Evil 5 would break Capcom's 7-year streak of brilliant survival horror games. It's telling that the series' reset point, Resident Evil 7, was a reinvention of the very first game, a haunted house that grew ever larger as you unlocked new rooms by solving its puzzles. Clever reinventions of this base conceit is the key to Resident Evil's success, be that dropping an unstoppable force into the house's corridors, Resident Evil 2's Mr. X, or expanding the scope of the house. Resident Evil Village's titular location is effectively a giant manor. Its corridors are streets and its rooms are houses. Resident Evil 5's stage-driven structure is simply inferior to this design. A modern recreation of it would only further highlight its flaws, especially coming in such close proximity to masterclasses like the remake of Resident Evil 2. That remake was... I fucking love that remake so much, Resident Evil 2. I didn't realize, because if I'm remembering correctly, in the original game, the doors were like the loading screens. And so I didn't realize that, like, in that game when I first played it, that the doors, like, they could just jump through and attack you. And that was before we were streaming, but James got to see me, like, freak the fuck out because I got, like, fucking attacked. To this day, we still talk about it. It's so fucking funny because I genuinely was like, what the fuck? I love that game. I love that game. Remakes can, of course, completely redefine the structure of their source material. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, for example, is recognizably an updated version of the classic RPG, but its world design and gameplay mechanics are a world apart from the 1997 original. Well, it's not just the gameplay and the world design, it's quite literally the story as well. I don't even, like... I'm not going to debate too hard on what they're trying to say there because it's kind of me reading into it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it an updated version. Like, I consider it like kind of we've talked about this, me and James, a bunch on this show. I won't get too autistic, but it's a remake, not a remaster, right? So it can be totally argued that that game is like pretty much not the same game. Anyways, So you could argue that Resident Evil 5 is actually the Resident Evil most in need of a remake. A whole new environmental structure and scenario design that reins in the action and dials up the horror would bring it in line with Capcom's other remakes. But all of this doesn't account for Resident Evil's most notorious problem. Racism? Okay. And there's the racism they're worried about there. Resident Evil 5's depiction of Africa as the dark continent is harmful. Oh no, IGN. What are you gonna do? Let's hear you talk about it some more. Set in a fictional West African country, Resident Evil 5's primary antagonists are black people. Yes, technically, it's the Ouroboros virus that protagonist Chris Redfield is fighting, but the parasite's host is depicted as a nation of mobs and primitives who are violent even before their infection. Intentionally or not, Resident Evil 5 positions Africa as the dark continent, an uncivilized world harboring a diseased population that needs gunning down via Western intervention in the name of global security. Oh my god. Oh my god. This insensitive treatment of people of color was hotly debated even as early as Resident Evil 5's debut trailer, with writers such as Nye Kroll and Stephen Totilo, which Stephen Totilo, I believe, he's the guy that used to run Kotaku, I want to say. Kotaku and Polygon are the same company in my brain because they just act so similarly, but I do believe he's the Kotaku guy. I don't think he's there anymore. He might have even gone and done his own thing. I think he's independent now. Pointing out the game's uncomfortable post-colonial imagery. The arguments and think pieces continued well into the game's release window, with IGN's own former editor-in-chief Hillary Goldstein having also wrestled with the subject. But that was 2009, a time when race was apparently a debate rather than a reality. I don't even... What does that sentence even mean? That was 2009, a time when race was apparently a debate rather than a reality. Has anyone ever denied that Asian people, black people, brown people exist? White people? Has anyone denied that any of these people exist? I don't understand that statement. Maybe this is just me being like fucking retarded, which is fine. I'll be the fucking retard, but that sentence doesn't make sense. It's trying to imply something that just like isn't there. In the 2020s, in a post-BLM world, there is only one acceptable response to a white man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game. No. So because the world got heated on an issue at some point here, now you can't have a white male protagonist go to Africa. That's not allowed anymore, according to IGN. Keeping in mind this is a fucking video game. Who the fuck cares? Like, in Miles Morales, is he not allowed to attack white people, like the white goons or whatever? I have not played Miles Morales because I don't care about Miles Morales. I'm a Spider-Man fan. But, like, is Miles Morales not allowed to attack white people because that would be inciting racism too? Well, no, you're never gonna fucking complain about that. This makes no fucking sense. That's like honestly hilarious. But again, it's fantasy. It's fucking fantasy. I just don't get it. Remakes may be able to redefine their source material, but there's only so many changes you can make until it's not a remake at all, but an entirely new game. And if you take Africa out of Resident Evil 5, is it Resident Evil 5 anymore? I mean, technically you could put this game anywhere and have hordes, but like you would want to make it like a poor country based on how it looked, and I guess undeveloped, I don't know, but it doesn't, it's like all of this is just stupid nitpicking that doesn't matter because it's a fucking video game, and no one in their right mind takes it seriously or thinks it's like a race war for a fucking like white male to go to Africa. Like I just don't understand why these people like are so obsessed over this shit. And if you take out, so even with vastly improved, more sensitive take on the continent, perhaps one with a black protagonist and more empathetic look at the outbreak, the experience would simply be too divorced from the original to hold the name Resident Evil 5. Why don't you just make a different game with that? Why do you have to change this game? This game has already existed. Why do we need to erase that simply because it offends you? It's unreal, guys. It's unreal. Extra says IGN has as much integrity as Ryan Kinnell's jaw. I don't know. I don't know much about Ryan Kinnell, but dude says, oh no, we have black people as the foot soldiers in an area where black people are the majority. Yeah, it's you place it in Africa. Who cares? You could place it in any country and have similar issues. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just fiction. Extra Zero says, also funny that they have no issues killing Spaniards in 4 or how my people were portrayed. Gino says the best race is NASCAR. I agree with that. Second is the human race, and James is just crying laughing over this shit. Yeah, it's like Zach said, it went through an editor supposedly. I don't know. This is just all fucking crazy, man. Capcom now has the opportunity to ignore the past and completely reinvent this chunk of the timeline. Well, I think Capcom's done that to a few things now, because yeah, there's been other games where they put the fucking the same thing they did with Lara Croft, where they put the fucking warning before the game. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. So where does Capcom go now? Personally, I'd look backwards. Code Veronica is an ideal candidate, as is the original Resident Evil. But if the only way is chronologically forward, then a total rewrite of what comes next is the logical path. I can't even believe they're trying to push logic down our throats after they've said that, let's go back to that quote. All of this doesn't account for Resident Evil's most notorious problem, racism. Because you're upset that a white man is in Africa attacking enemies that are attacking him. Unreal. Because what followed Resident Evil 4 was not one terrible game, but two. Resident Evil 6 doubled down, no, tripled down on the action-packed, set-piece, heavy shooter design, to the extent that much of it could be mistaken for a third-person Call of Duty spin-off, were it not for the monsters. Its restrictive level design practically puts you in a chokehold, forcing you to endure a barrage of bombastic moments that have no interest evoking any sense of fear. Resident Evil 6 is a survival horror only in that it's a horrible game that you have to survive playing. But this time around, it doesn't have to be like that. Capcom now has the opportunity to ignore the past and completely reinvent this chunk of the timeline. In Resident Evil 4 Remake's post-credit scene, evil mastermind Albert Wesker details his plans for world domination to Ada Wong. Reflected in his glasses is an image of Excella Gion and the Stairway of the Sun, two significant plot elements from Resident Evil 5, which indicates Capcom's intentions. But there's more to consider. This scene is largely a replication of a sequence from Assignment, Ada, a non-canon chapter from the original Resident Evil 4. Its shift from unofficial to canon points to a willingness to change. Furthermore, the end of the scene is entirely rewritten. When learning of Wesker's plans, rather than dutifully deliver the stolen Las Plagas sample to him, Ada betrays her shadowy boss and forces her helicopter pilot to turn around. In this moment, the future of Resident Evil becomes unclear. Capcom has given itself the freedom to do whatever it wants. I just hope it's not a remake of Resident Evil 5. Cry harder, retard. That's all I have to say to that. Matt Purslow, cry harder. Who fucking cares? And yeah, look, like Extra said, there's no comments. The comments, they didn't even give a chance for anyone to comment. They just locked it right away. Unreal. Unreal. These people can't handle fantasy. That's all it is. And you're going to continue to erase things constantly for what reason? Like, I think people are smart enough to understand that he's not inciting a race war because he's fighting these enemies. Like, it's fucking unreal. So that dropped literally, like, as we were going live. I'm glad we got to all experience that together because holy shit, that was fucking dumb. And yeah, as we see, IGN tweeted out, comments are closed. You can't reply to any of it. Of course, there's a bunch of quote tweets. I don't think I can see it, but there's a bunch of people quoting this. And James says Matt Purslow, who is the writer of this article, protected his Twitter right away as well. So there you go. That is IGN. This is fucking funny to me. It's just, this stuff has happened for like 10 years, but I feel like they're pulling the trigger a lot quicker now. And they're just like, okay, no, we gotta lock up before we can even fucking do anything. Extra Zero says, these people went to school having it beat into their head they were responsible for the sins of the father. Exactly. They think that they needed a second civil rights movement to make their mark on history. But since there weren't real problems or real racism, they had to create their own problems, create and stoke new racism. They think they'll be heroes solving issues they mostly created. 100%. Yeah, it's the amount of people like creating these problems now, they're actually causing this. Like this, all of us were all on the same fucking page. No one fucking cared. You'd hang out with whoever. You weren't worried about race. You weren't analyzing it constantly. And now it's just like everyone's fucking fighting each other because these people are crying over this shit constantly. Fucking constantly. Gino says, is this the real life or is it just fantasy? I got the joke, Gino. I got the joke. I'm becoming a Gino appreciator, by the way, guys. Slowly but surely, I'm becoming a Gino dad joke appreciator. The man's growing on me. No, we love Gino here, but it's just the dad jokes. I'm so bad at the dad jokes, but I'm getting better with them. Thank you, Gino. Dude says, I still need to beat the 360 version of Resident Evil 5 on professional difficulty setting. Playing that difficulty with the retarded AI is a terrible idea. I can imagine. But you can still, like, co-op that. I can't remember if that was online co-op or if that was just local. But you can still find a co-op partner for that, I imagine. And DJ says, yo, DJ, what's going on, my dude? This is pretty much just, a supplement to our podcast, so it's not replacing the podcast, but there's just simply so much gaming news going on right now that we're doing a few extra little tidbit shows in between. So we will still be live for the podcast tomorrow. But guys, this wasn't even the first thing I wanted to fucking talk about today. This wasn't even the first fucking thing. First thing I wanted to talk about, and let's see if I can get that all up and sorted here. The first thing I want to talk about today is Mark Sorrells. Now, Mark Sorrells, let's just make sure this is all good here. Yep. Mark Sorrells is somebody who used to work for Kotaku. And he decided to drop this whole thread about what he calls Gorbergate, because, of course, they always used to have these fucking names, Goobergate, Gorbergate, all this shit, and it was mainly to soften the fact that people were using the hashtag constantly. So if you were on Twitter during 2014, the word Gamergate would populate, right, in the search. So what a lot of people would do to keep up with all the news, the things happening, is they would just go and type in Gamergate in the search bar and see, like, what is the latest news. The tactic was always these people on the anti-side to be like, oh, I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to make fun of it, call them babies, whatever, just so that they don't necessarily find these tweets. But guess what? We fucking see these tweets. Like, we're not stupid. It's not hard to find this shit, bro. So this is Mark Sorrells. And he drops this whole thread about, I want to share a story about, like, my experience with Gamergate and how crazy it was and all this stuff. So I've summarized it here, but we're going to go into the actual thread. And I'm going to give you guys some extra details on this because soon after he dropped this thread, he actually revealed what meetup that was. And I know people that were at that meetup. So I know slightly more details than he wanted to reveal. But Kotaku guy gets mad online, says he wants to fight people. People rightfully call him out for it. He claims it's the worst day. I should have said week because that was his words, but it was pretty much essentially said it was the worst week of his life when people called him out for this. He went to a meetup IRL, and then he complained that they were silent or avoiding eye contact with him. This is his story. So, but let's hear from the man himself. I would love to hear this from the man himself. So, Mark Sorrells says, this is probably a bad idea, but I want to share this story with all the Gorbergate stuff going on. Bye, Gino. Have a good one. He says, you guys have fun and take my like. I'm going to get along with my day. Well, you have a good one, buddy. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for dropping by. So yeah, he says, just so people can get a sense of how impotent and weird the whole thing is IRL. Okay. Now, it's really this second tweet that jumped out at me because at first I was like, okay, this is just like a run-of-the-mill person crying about whatever, whether it's like, I hate these whiny gamer bros, whatever shit. So I was like, whatever, this is a normal thread. But I saw this tweet and I was dying laughing. He says, a long time ago, I posted something really dumb on a friend's private Facebook comment section about the whole situation. It was dumb and I regretted it. But basically I was saying, wish I could just fight these guys. So this guy is just like online. He's like, I want to fight these Gamergate bros. Fuck these Gamergate bros. I want to fight them. Okay, that's where this starts. And then he says, anyway, someone screenshotted, which, look, I will say this once. I will say this a million fucking times. Whether you're talking publicly on Twitter, whether you're in a stream, whether you're in DMs with people, it's inevitable that like things can get screenshotted. It's the internet. You absolutely should understand that anything you are saying to people on the internet in any capacity can get out there. You don't want to be caught with your pants down saying that you want to fight people and stuff like this, because it's going to come out. Someone's going to see that, especially on like something like a Facebook page or whatever. Someone's going to cruise on by and be like, what the fuck? Why does this guy want to fight people? And screenshot it. That's just how it is. So he was really dumb for fucking acting like this. And he's surprised that somebody screenshotted it. I mean, regardless, I'm not a person that likes that. Like, I don't think people should go around screenshotting each other's DMs or stuff like that. But this was a public post, so it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Anyways, someone screenshotted. I wish I knew who, but I don't. And it went viral on all the places you might expect. And people were absolutely nuts at me on Twitter and everywhere, basically. There were threats and abuse, and it was absolutely overwhelming. What were the threats and abuse? I would love to know. I'm not going to lie. It was incredibly hard to just receive like 20 tweets a second of pure vitriol. It was constant and horrific, and I had no idea what to do with it. For a whole week, it was constant, and it was seriously one of the worst weeks of my life. Again, let's just go back to the fact that this dude literally has just said out of nowhere, I wish I could fight these guys. And then he's surprised when people read that and are like, fuck you, bitch. You want to fucking fight me? What the fuck's wrong with you? That's just a natural response. Anyways, in amongst all the tweets and my reading, I saw there was a Gorbergate meetup at PAX Australia that year. I'm not a fighter, but I like to just face things head on. So I decided to just go meet some of the people who talked all this shit, see what actually happened. And the answer, of course, was nothing. The meetup was at a child's playground, despite the fact PAX Australia was happening walking distance from the park, and there were like 10 to 12 people there. And they were all exactly what you might expect. 90% dudes. Shy, nervous, socially awkward. I introduced myself to all of them. Hey, I'm Sorrels from Kotaku. They just sort of stood there in silence in a little circle. I remember one guy was very intense, like made a fuss about not looking at me or talking to me. But most of them just stood there. Just a completely small, weird little group of people. I left after about 10 minutes. Maybe things are different now. Maybe a decade of Trump, COVID, and terrible Joe Rogan podcasts, Joe Rogan guests, has fueled growth in these groups. But whenever I feel overwhelmed by the noise of Twitter, I remember that little group of weirdos at the playground easting cold sangas in the rain. So it didn't click in my brain instantly, but I realized afterwards he was talking about PAX Australia, and there was actually a Gamergate meetup that happened. I didn't go to it, but I actually know people that went to it. Somebody who's local to me also went there. And this meetup, I mean, besides it just, these meetups would happen all the time, right? So during Gamergate, in different cities, there would be like, hey, we're gonna hang out and just like talk video games, or like, this is all crazy. It was just about meeting like-minded people and going, whoa, like what the fuck's happening right now? So a lot of people treated this as like an opportunity to like either network or just hang out with like-minded people, make some friends, whatever it might be. So these Gamergate meetups happened all the time. They weren't like meetups where we're all conspiring to fucking like overthrow something. Like, it was nothing of the sort. It was just hanging out. So this guy sees a meetup that, these meetups would always be public, right? So it'd be like, hey, are you in the Australia area? Come hang out with us. We're just going to, sit and have some food or beers or wherever, depending on where it was. And we're just going to hang out and have fun. So, of course, when you were organizing these meetups, you'd go, hey, we're going here this date. Come hang out. So this guy shows up to a small meetup of like 10 people. And he's shocked that their reaction is just like, they don't really want to engage with him. I mean, would you want to engage with somebody who says, I wish I could just fight these guys? I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to engage with them. I mean, I'm a little more feisty, I guess, so I'd probably laugh in his face. But majority of people, they just want to be left the fuck alone, right? They just want to hang out with people that are like-minded. They want to be left the fuck alone. So these guys were just hanging out there. But the thing I find funny about this is that the reason why they were all standing in a circle is because they were having a barbecue. They were having a fucking barbecue. That's why. And I believe one of the guys that was there even decided to reply. I don't know if his reply is still here. But there was a few people there. I don't want to necessarily name them unless they publicly stated it themselves. But I do know of some people that were there. I remember this meetup. And yeah, they were just literally a bunch of dudes hovering over a barbecue outside of PAX, hanging out, and this guy is like trying to paint it like it's this big fucking deal. So I just thought that was really funny. And this is the kind of shit we would see constantly, where they would just misconstrue things and take it completely out of proportion and make it a big deal. And of course, always throwing the punch first. I wish I could fight these guys. Oh my god, this is the worst week of my life. Why is everyone crying and getting mad at me? And it's just like, shut the fuck up. So that was that situation. I thought it was pretty funny. There's a lot more salt going on Twitter. The next one's from a channel favorite, and I don't even know if I can read all of this because I'm in Canada, but let's look at it anyways. This is from Hamas Movie Blob, as we know him on this channel. And he sounded off back in 2014 as well. He's back. Did he ever disappear? I don't know. I do not follow this man because to me, he's just an absolute lol cow. But here we are. Bob Chipman, the movie blob himself, is back in the fray. And he says, well, let's talk about the thing he's quote tweeting first. Damien says, oh god, James, really? James says, Virendir Singh Jubal is back. Oh god, all these people. And there's Rami Ismail is back, and there's so many people. Jeff Grubbs is still fucking complaining. I have that pulled up too. It's Bob Chipman, movie blob himself, says, well, first, sorry, I was going to read the other tweet. Damien says, every single person with GDC in their name and practically every game journalist has the exact same opinion on Sweet Baby Inc., as they try to tell us there's no agenda being forced. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday too. It's like, it's funny right now because GDC is the main gaming thing coming up, and we know that there's going to be people like Sweet Baby and stuff there. A lot of people with the like, here's my name, and then the arrow going to GDC are kind of complaining and stuff. And yeah, see, you got this person, for example, soon, PAX, like these kinds of people are just constantly whining online. It's totally fine to point out and say it's funny. Doesn't mean everyone going to GDC, everyone going to PAX is acting like this, but right now it's a trend. So Bob Chipman, of course, quote tweets this. They have similar opinions because they aren't opinions. They're objective observations of very simple realities. You aren't a brave truth teller. You're just the equivalent of a flat earther, certain thing that was taken during the early 2020s, and a denier of an event that's still being brought up to this day, but about something much stupider. So now talking about Sweet Baby Inc. is being equated to the things that you see on the screen right now, which again, I'm in Canada, so I'm not going to fully risk talking about all these things, but holy shit, it's just the absolute fucking state of these fucking people. It's unreal. It's unfucking real. So that was Movie Bob. Thought we would find some comedy in that because, you know, we all know Bob over here. I got sent something by JT as well earlier that I wanted to cover. And yeah, it's really funny because, again, I was looking at, for those who don't know, Paul Tassi. He's another person who's been very vocal since all of this started up. And now he's been complaining too. But it gets funnier. It gets fucking funnier. Come on, let me zoom. There we go. Ooh, is it going to let me read this properly? Damn, it's blurry. Okay, let me see if I can find a less blurry version, because it was fine for me earlier. I don't necessarily want to... Yeah, I might not be able to open this way. Let me see if I can find that original tweet. We'll come back to that. Maybe, James, do you want to see if you can find the original tweet for that? Because for some reason, Microsoft Edge does not want to go into that. But I'm going to show some other Paul Tassi stuff because he's been going off all fucking morning about just random fucking shit. And it's fucking funny. It's just fucking funny. Go. Paul Tassi. So one person from one company wanted one guy on Steam to get banned, and they were not banned. And that started Gamergate 2. Incredible stuff. A bit of a simplification, but that's fine. And yeah, the comments are just ratioing him. How dare he compile a list of games a company worked on? Sacrilege, right? Sacrilege. Also, hello, Cult of Carl. I see you, and we are going to talk about the wonderful Insomniac stuff you sent me. We'll sit through and we'll watch that because I found the 12-minute training video, so we can sit through that. We can laugh. We can have a good time. And yeah, so Paul Tassie's been in his mentions constantly, going, "Why did he make the list?" He made it to point out that Sweet Baby does garbage stuff. You're a cult member. True. Glad we're all being very normal here. And there's the Carl of Dojima himself, the Cult of Carl, posting the GIF that we all love. Corporate journalists aren't people. Paul Tassi showing he supports racism and harassment in the industry because he's a coward. Yeah, it's just the whole comment section is just ratioing the shit out of him. Okay, JT sent me the link. Let's see if I can see this. James says try clicking the oh, I see. Yeah. Maybe that would be better. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this one loaded better, I think. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Okay. So this was sent to me by JT Epsilon today. Sent to James and I. And this is Paul Tassi. And this was a tweet I actually wanted to cover today. So perfect. We get a little extra context. Every single dev or writer that speaks out about this is inevitably flooded with 100 to 1,000 replies and quote tweets attacking them, calling for them to be fired or even killed. Sorry if I cannot take the "it's actually about Steam curator targeted harassment" campaign seriously. I don't know how many times I have to say that Kabrutus is like the nicest fucking dude I've ever met. Like, he's such a nice, just normal gaming dude, and like these people have like painted him into like he's like the next like fascist leader because he made a curator page to say, hey, this company worked on this game. Like, it's honestly insane to watch these people turn him into a scapegoat and try to act like he's like an evil person simply for pointing stuff out. And he's not responsible for any targeted harassment or anything. He's simply just pointing out, hey, Sweet Baby works on these games. People, it just doesn't register in their fucking brains. Chef Frank replies, please show an example of people calling for death. You can't claim something like that without proof. Paul Tassi says, okay, we'll just assume this will be called a false flag or something, so what's even the point? Now, I can't see this image anymore, but essentially it's somebody saying a lot of slurs, and I'm gonna fucking do this and whatever. And it was just like a screenshot. It's a lot of gamer words. Chef Frank says, she sends those to herself, Lamau. Got any actual proof? And Paul Tassi says, did you literally just do the thing I said you were going to do? Chef Frank replies, did you really just send death threats and racial slurs to my email? And so, yeah, Chef Frank just posts this image. It's like, I'll kill you for fucking making fun of my industry, you stupid brown monkey. You're better hang off a tree. So this is clearly like a shopped image, right, guys? It's a shopped image. JT says it's Alyssa Mercante's hang news post. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's... Again, just simply posting a screenshot only says so much. These people will always claim harassment and all these things. It's the fucking internet. Like, seriously. So anyways, this guy's like making a bit of a poke and says, did you really just send death threats and racial slurs to my email? And it says, to innocent gamer. So like, it's clearly a troll. Large Employer says, whoa, Forbes, you might want to look into this, but doesn't even tag Forbes. Like, it's just like a joke. DWE says, you're just proving our point more so, and all you're doing is making yourself look guilty. Threats are being made, and making fake ones and pretending they aren't just makes you seem like you're trying to cover up a real crime. VPNs won't save you even on a second account, FYI. Chef Frank says, this is a real threat. How dare you not take me seriously? I even posted the same exact amount of proof of the angry racist lady. You are an extremist and a very, very hateful person. And then, yeah, it's just a back and forth pretty much with saying, you know, you didn't actually post. You posted something that's obviously fake. Paul posted something that would be pretty hard to fake, which it's very similar. It's just an image. It's why you didn't copy his post. I'm absolutely very, very hateful of all of you freaks, and you never leave the keyboard and hide this persona IRL. I wish you wouldn't. Chef Frank says, I can't believe you're really accusing me of faking this. This is very real, and I'm very scared. Why do you believe her but not me? You're an evil man, and you're harassing me. it's just really the taste of their own medicine thing that makes it funny because, yeah, like I've said, a lot of the times people would come out and say, oh, we're being harassed. Oh, this is happening. A bunch of gamers are coming after me. But then you would ask for proof, and it was just like the most thin proof ever. And it doesn't point to anyone that actually is doing it. And again, also, it's this whole thing of like people not understanding that the internet is just a shitpost central. And shit like that will happen. It's not credible, even if it is something like that crazy. So, PWE says, because it's obviously fake with no context or basis, Paul has been attacked almost every day since he started writing on all this. Again, what is the attacks you're getting? People ratioing you? People laughing at you? That's like, it's just, yeah. You pretending his post with all the context in the world is fake, but playing victim over an obvious fake is very telling. Again, crying wolf. And then somebody says, now apply that crying wolf idea to Alyssa. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Paul Tassi is claiming that 100 to 1,000 replies and quote tweets attacking them, calling for them to be fired or even killed. Now, I don't agree if people are calling for people to be fired. I don't think that's, like, the right way to go, personally. And I will say, I have seen some cases of people tagging the platform, like, oh, Kotaku, you really want somebody working for you that's saying like these things about white people, all that kind of stuff. I'm not really a huge fan of those tactics personally. I try not to go down that route because you're just really playing their game, and people should be entitled to have whatever fucking opinion they want. I'm more of the belief of like, just let your enemies say whatever you fucking want and just point and laugh. You point and laugh at those people and you don't take them seriously. You don't necessarily try to deplatform them. You want to know what your enemies are saying and thinking, right? So that's just my personal little free speech autism. Thank you again, JT Epsilon, for sending that to me. But yeah, the whole like advocating for people to get killed, I personally haven't seen much of that stuff. Let's go into one of the guys that was here from back in the day as well. Like I said, thank you again, JT, for sending that to me earlier. But yeah, let's go on to our next one here. And we'll get into some of the fun old stuff too, because there's something I really want to dive into that I've just found hilarious for like a few weeks, and it was like a little trip down memory lane. I want to have fun with this shit too. It's just all garbage and stupid. But here's Rami Ismail, and he was around from a long time ago. I remember this guy from 2014. And okay, actually, I just want to read what JT Epsilon's saying before I continue. So with the Alyssa stuff, he's saying that Alyssa supposedly posted real evidence from her email. Seems more legit than her first attempt, but with her, who knows for sure. So I guess, we'll keep tabs on it. If there is genuine, like, threats coming her way, I don't condone that. I don't think that should be a thing. I hope that's not the case. I hope this is just people being retarded online, or what is more likely is, trying to drum up the drama to herself. But we don't know for sure. Cult Carl says, Paul Tassi is such a coward. His takes are such a hit or miss. And says, this stuff really does annoy me so much, Kay. I have so many words on this. I don't blame you, man. It's fucking unreal. The whole games media thing is very insidious, more than I think even some of the critics are saying. It's rather scary what is acceptable in games media. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm mostly caught up with you guys here. Feel free to pester me if you're like, I didn't read this or whatever. I'll try my best to read everything. But yeah, Rami Ismail was I believe he was a developer back in the day, and he was always around for all that fucking dialogue back in 2014. And here he is once again getting into the mud with everyone. And so he says, so the Gamergate ex-dev grifter is back, claiming shit about forced diversity leading to funding, and let me tell you, not even once in my life have I worked on or with any title that had an easier time getting funded because it was different, diverse, inclusive, or equitable. Now, I'm sorry, but this just feels like he himself might have not ever worked on something that had that push. I'm not even going to bother looking into this loser's fucking history and what he worked on because I don't fucking care. But, like, even if he himself has not had this experience, so many of these projects now are bringing in this diversity, inclusion, all this shit. You can't fucking sit here and tell me that this isn't a thing. Like, it's so blatantly obviously a fucking thing. Rami continues, yes, games get made with external money. This has been the case since publishers and investors were a thing. And let me tell you something about big money people. They don't give a shit about anything but money. That is true. I agree with that. that's their job. They're supposed to do their job well. I do think money is a big motivator for these people. I don't think a lot of these higher ups always realize the detriment they're doing to their businesses by going with DEI stuff. Maybe there's a lot of out of touch boomers or whatever that think, oh, if we fund it this way, like that's what all the kids are talking about now. They care about this diversity shit. Maybe that's the angle. I don't fucking know. I do think there's more insidious things at play. Not insidious, bliss. Insidious and dude are the two words I've had to like change in my vocabulary because of you lads, but don't worry, I love you guys for it. Rami says, that means most unexpected hits are games that are funded one of three ways. An experienced dev making something weird, Hades, Baldur's Gate, a publisher with financial space to make a big swing, Nier Automata, a team that can self-fund, Minecraft, Lethal Company. Shout out to Notch. I hope he's doing well. And Rami says, that sucks for people who want to do different things in any way because you can't easily make a case that'll make money. So they're always at a disadvantage with funding. What's easy to fund is AI-driven mobile games and free-to-play. I don't know what GAS means, but okay. Everything else in games is hard to fund now. So this grifter has pulled up ESG funding. What grifter is he talking about? Investment with environmental, social, and governance considerations. If you'd search for ESG gaming, you'd find the most relevant result is from the American Gaming Association, and that one represents casinos, not video games. I don't know. Some of the shit he's saying, I'm just like, okay, whatever, buddy. You just want to fucking be in denial. That's fine. Even when ESG funding is applied to games, it generally is at massive corporations that already have such goals for reasons unrelated to unlocking an additional funding opportunity. And that funding is generally a marginal adjustment in their bottom line. It is staggering to me that a bunch of grifters managed to convince countless people that there's a secret cabal of super rich people that will force black, Muslim, gay, disabled women into games when the entire world is on fire because money people only care about money. Well, again, secret cabal is another way that they're going to try to gaslight you into being like, you're crazy. You're acting like there's this like secret group of people that really want it. It's like, we're seeing it very clearly with the way that Sweet Baby has presented themselves. I don't think Sweet Baby is the only company, but it's the one that, you know, we're the most knowledgeable on right now. There's other ones that are probably out there that are just more hidden. And absolutely they are pushing this stuff because, again, they're the ones saying, oh, if you want to do this in your game and you want to make sure that we have this in representation, go talk to your marketing team. We all know the quote. It's been played a million times. So yeah, they're just trying to gaslight you into being like, you're fucking crazy. You think that these people rule the world and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And there is absolutely things pushing this into the media. And it's happened not only in video games, in TV, in comic books, everything. Rami says, and let me tell you, those super rich folks, they're not into diversity. I think that can be true sometimes. I think that there's a lot of people that play along with the fucking game because all of these retards on the lower level pressure them to and start saying that they're going to cancel you if you don't fucking do it. I do think there's some truth to that a lot of these super rich folks don't give a fuck about the diversity thing. It's all these fucking advocates that are pressuring them into it. These grifters literally had to invent a non-existent class of empathic, diverse, super rich people to sell their grift, and their audience follows without a single critical thought. It takes 10 seconds to refute. You want to know what diversity funding in games looks like? It's something like 20K, maybe 50K. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of fucking money, especially for a small game. If you're like an indie studio or something, getting 20K, 50K, that could be life-changing for you. It absolutely would be encouraging for you, unfortunately, to go with these kinds of grants and to add the diversity to your game simply so you can get lifted off the ground and have a career. The average indie game budget I'm seeing right now is $300K. The average AAA couldn't buy lunch for the month with $20,000. Well, here's the thing too. Like, you guys keep bloating your budgets insanely. Like, video game budgets are getting to a point where you can be considered a success and you still don't do well because of all the shit that you're fucking pumping into this. But I guess that's another debate entirely. The only reason you'd go after such funding is if you're a tiny team with diverse people trying to fund something different. You wouldn't hire someone diverse just to get that money. It's not enough to cover the risk and expense. And for ESG money, game corps will jump any hoop to get money, but never let it interfere with their core business goals, shareholder value. Well, I do think that a lot of these companies are failing. And again, like I said yesterday, it's not completely the diversity stuff that is hurting the sales and causing the layoffs, but it is a contributor. I think it's okay to say that much. Obviously, there was an economic issue as well, but absolutely part of it is if you're not making a game that your fans want, you're not making the fucking sales. So if you're injecting all this diversity shit, like, you are technically interfering with the core business value of making money. And that's all to send a message. That's all to fucking appeal activism. And a lot of times these activists don't even fucking play your game. So you're all retarded, pretty much. But it absolutely is working against their bottom line. Yeah, it's just insane. Like, this guy just keeps going on and fucking on. Like, oh yeah, ESG monies, they'll jump through hoops. They care about shareholder value. If you think these corps are going to the pro tag has to be a woman, or this 0.5% funding goes away, you're being an embarrassment to logic. I don't necessarily think that's 100% where that angle comes from, though. It is really these people that come in and say, you need to have this or else people won't buy your game. People won't support you. People try to cancel you. They get threatened. They get scared away from experimenting because the social dialogue pushes them away from that direction. What happens is they'll install some non-committal whatever somewhere half importance and then ignore them or go back to shareholders. Even if this was a realistic scenario, a consultant hired for ESG purposes will 100% be ignored if just hiring the consultant fulfills the requirements. You know who has ESG goals? Boeing. The company currently going under for fucking all their environmental, social, and governance goals for cutthroat shareholder growth, led by a homogenous group that's been around since the 90s. ESG means fuck all for daily operations. There's a million ways you could see ESG ain't the problem in games. Y'all's problems is the best earning games are free to play, whatever GAS means, I don't fucking know. Aimed at the largest audience out there. Games as a service, I think he's saying? Yeah, he's saying games as a service. Corporations aimed only at shareholder value want a slice of that, as core audiences is unsustainable. Core audiences want to spend once, get years of updates, and preferably at super high fidelity and semi-realistic styles with no bugs. Yeah. This is true. Core audience want to spend once. You want to buy your game once. You want to get a bunch of updates. And then, I mean, the updates, they're not always necessary, but if you want to give that, that's great. We appreciate it. And we don't want the bugs. Exactly. It's millions in investment for a tough crowd that will buy it when it's discounted. It doesn't work anymore, and that's okay. But the fact that the corporations are then trying something else, different audiences, repeatable income, and all that stuff isn't because some secret cabal. It's literally economically more sensible to try live service until you go bankrupt or get super rich than it is to make AAA. Well, this is a big problem. We don't want live service games. We don't want to encourage live service games. Anyway, that's all. Short version, ESG, DEI, and diversity haven't made games worse. They absolutely have. Absolutely fucking have. Before even discovering that Sweet Baby was a thing, there's so many PlayStation exclusives that I didn't want to touch. Like if you're looking at God of War that came out with Dad Simulator, whatever you want to call it. The Spider-Man game was fucking full of this shit. There's so many games that I personally, at least, have been turned off of because they're injecting this shit constantly. It's not enjoyable. I don't want to worry about real-world issues 24/7 when I'm playing a fucking video game. I don't want you fucking slamming it down my throat. Oh, you gotta like this, you gotta appreciate this, or else you're a bigot. I don't want to fucking deal with that. I just want to have fun with the fucking game. So that is Rami. He's probably going to keep going off because he's just he's one of those people that was hovering around constantly throughout all of this. Okay. There's, maybe we'll get to the Insomniac stuff. I think we should get to the Insomniac stuff because I did promise Cult Carl we would do that. And I do have it here already. Perfect. I'll check in with chat real quick, and then we're going to sit and listen to the authentic portrayals in popular media, Insomniac's inclusivity studies. And this was sent to me by Cult of Carl. He wanted to look into it because, they're not only hiring these companies to come in and make your games more diverse, they're also literally teaching people with this diversity training in their companies. Insomniac's culture studies and protocols, including mandatory Discord sessions with queer, African American, and Asian groups. So let's see what chat's been up to, and then we'll continue on with that. JT says Virendir Singh Jubal has me blocked, and I never heard of him until you just said his name. And yeah, I think the block bots are coming back. There's people that have blocked me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I've never talked to you. I don't know why the fuck you're even like. I don't get it. I don't fucking. They're afraid. And yeah, JT says when Elle and I stops dragging their feet and pays me. James says, look at how many devs fell for the Epic exclusivity grift, despite it having a long-term negative impacts to them. Of course they're going to go for this. Exactly. If you encourage them and say, hey, we're giving you free money, it could be fucking a few $1,000s. Why wouldn't you take the money to help drive your budget down when it's so hard to break even, let alone profit on a game because of these bloated budgets? You're going to fucking take the money. Most of these companies are going to take the money. It's unfortunate, and I wish it wasn't the case, but that's how it fucking goes. And I can't even necessarily blame all of these people. If somebody's dangling 100K in front of you, you're going to fucking take it. 50K, 20K. Especially if you're in a position where you're a much smaller company, you're trying to get your foot off the ground, you're going to take it. And unfortunately, it's going to work against you, and you might not realize that until later on down the line. But people don't want this in their games. We've made it clear a million times. At some point, it's on you. You shouldn't be making these games. We as the consumers, we're going to continue to make informed decisions, and we're not going to buy these games that we don't want to play. Simple. I'm in control of my wallet. So I can't fault these companies for taking these grants all the time because it's a very easy way for them to succeed. But at what cost, right? At what cost? So, dude says at least the Epic exclusivity shouldn't affect the game itself. And with games like Order Us, Steam needs more competition. Order Us was the game that got banned off of Steam days before launch. And this is the one thing I do agree on is like, I don't like Epic at all, but I do think competition's healthy. I don't think Steam should be the monopoly necessarily, but it has gotten out of hand that we have all of these different competitors, and Steam does it the best. I do think that it's fairly justified based on all of the marketing efforts and everything that Steam does. I do think it's justified to a certain degree what budget they take out of a game, just for being on their platform, because they do a lot of the legwork for you to get visibility. What I don't agree with is them barricading games from being launched on their platform for whatever reason, arbitrary reasons, and telling people that days before their launch. So you have these studios like, of course, Richard Loruna is another person that we cite often on this channel. He spent his whole fucking few years building this game, and then they decide at the last minute, oh no, never mind, you can't be on our platform. It's their right. It is their right to say whatever is hosted on our platform is our decision, but it's really shitty. It's a really shitty practice, and so I do think there does need to be some sort of competition. I hate Epic, but I'm at least okay with competition existing. There just needs to be better competition. Dude also says, Forspoken was a one-and-done game ruined by Sweet Baby Inc. The bugs and glitches would have been manageable if the characters and story weren't atrocious. And JT says, I feel like I'm about to lose my final brain cell. Me too, sir. Why don't we watch some of this Insomniac inclusivity studies training? Some of you might have already seen this. Like I said, this is a story out from December, but Call to Carl did want me to look into this, and I agree maybe there hasn't been enough coverage on it. It might have even been overshadowed with some of the Sweet Baby stuff. So let's listen, and we might pause here and there and interrupt because I'm sure it's going to get wacky. I've not sat through all of this yet. I saw a minute just to make sure it worked. So let's get to it, and please let me know, guys, if you're having issues hearing or anything like that.
Mainstream media is so powerful for people who are coming of age and even younger folks. For them to see a representation of their own skin color, their own culture, their background on the big screen or on TV, I think it does tremendous things in terms of how they navigate the world.
You learn through what you're watching, what you're consuming, and it really informs your life in a lot of ways. I would have come out sooner if there had been better portrayals of lesbians and queer people.
You would have come out sooner if there was better portrayals of lesbians. Why do these people need this validation constantly from the outside world to feel okay with who they are? If you're actually gay or whatever the fuck, why does it matter? Like, I know the argument of like, oh, but my parents don't accept it or whatever. Those people don't deserve to be in your life necessarily if they're going to get to a point where they hate you and all of this stuff simply for a sexual preference. It's not really like our business to begin with. So I don't get why these people are constantly begging for, I need representation in this kind of media in order to come out. If that's how you feel, just be your fucking self. Like, you don't need us fucking sit there and clap for you. Yay, congratulations, you're gay. Like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares?
There's very little representation of what really is going on.
People aren't exposed to the way that we're raised, how we live, what we're confused about.
It's very important that the media portrays Puerto Rican or Latino culture accurately, because people or communities that don't have any exposure to that culture or that medium, that's going to be the only experience they base what they know on that culture.
If we do have like a positive portrayal in the show, it's not authentic. It's like comfortable for other viewers.
It's comfortable for other viewers? What the fuck does that mean? Oh, we can put these people in, but we have to make it comfortable for other viewers. What the fuck does that even mean? I feel like these people just constantly throw shit around like, oh, we have to make other people comfortable and we compromise this because of this people. And like, no one fucking cares. No one fucking cares.
Instead of it being authentic, so.
I feel like The Farewell was a really good example of delving into actual nuanced Asian experiences. Awkwafina is this Asian American immigrant going back to her family in China. It just wasn't concerned with like what white audiences were thinking. It was just for us, you know? It wasn't like
what white audiences were thinking. What are white audiences thinking? Why does it matter what white people think about anything in the media? Like, I don't understand. Why does it matter what a black person thinks about the media? Why does it matter what a brown person thinks about the media? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? I've never spoken to like a person who's just like watched something that's not necessarily catered to them. Like, this movie is like about rich Asian people, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that's the movie they're citing. And it's like, no one that's white is sitting there being like, oh, well, this is how this makes me feel. Like, people understand that that's not catered to them necessarily. They don't fucking care. They just want a good story. I just don't, the little like jabs at white people during this is really what's irritating me.
like doing something for white audiences, really.
What are you doing for white audiences?
Spider-Verse, so the guy Miles, the main character, he was a mixture of black and Spanish.
Being the hero for once, being the main character for once, that is even part African American, that is black. Miles Morales matters to me because he showed my little brother that we can be in these positions. We can be strong and depicted positively.
Don't make their identity the focal point of the character storyline. That's all these people fucking literally do. Is they just try to make the identity of the character the focal point of the story. Like, I feel like that's every modern game I've witnessed. I have not played Celeste. People claim that that doesn't have that, but otherwise, I don't know. I have not seen a game where people are just like, it doesn't matter that we're gay. It's always just like fucking, oh yeah, I'm a gay person. I'm a black person. I'm going through this. Like, they always have to make it a focal point that this character identifies a certain way. And it's insane that they're telling their employees, don't do that. It almost feels like disingenuous because, like, that's exactly what you all are also pushing. But they try to gaslight you into thinking that that's not what they're asking for, and they absolutely are. I'm just going to catch up with chat for a second. We'll continue. JT says, and they still got the Puerto Rican flag wrong. Exactly. They got the flag wrong after all of this work between Sweet Baby and between this diversity inclusion training that the team had. They somehow still got the flag wrong. How did you get that wrong? And JT says, even better that they straight mention it in the video too. Oh my god. Dude says, we want Latino culture, but we don't want Christian values. Sounds like an oxymoron there, exactly. And JT says, Puerto Rico, I mean, mentioning Puerto Rico. Ah, got it. DJ says, for fuck's sake, to think this company once upon a time developed Spyro, it's depressing to see how badly companies like this have deteriorated. I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm still really excited to see what Toys for Bob does in the future because I think they're going to do some fucking awesome shit, hopefully. Let's continue.
You don't have to talk about how this person's Asian or Korean all the time. Like, that just makes it that their sole identity. You know how Stephen Yeun in Walking Dead, like, they didn't really talk about him being Asian. He's just, like, a person. And that's why I've also appreciated his role there.
It's always a little frustrating when characters' storylines completely only have to do with, like, being gay. And, like, maybe that means they're only getting, like, romantic relationship storylines and, like,
this is literally the same person who, like, what, we're at 2 minutes, 39 seconds in, literally the first minute, she was like, I'm so glad that they constantly represent gay people in the media. If they did it more often, then I would have become gay earlier. And now you're saying, it's kind of annoying when they make main characters and the whole thing they talk about is that they're gay. Okay.
like, those are great. I love those, but it's like, there needs to be a little more.
It would be silly for a character to just totally be like separated from their queer identity, but at the same time, I think it's important to have a character who has a plot line and struggles and issues and drama separate from their queer identity, because if it's just all about their queer identity, then you're also pigeonholing them.
If you're not African American, you're not gonna understand truly how we feel, and unless you are experiencing our struggles.
If you're not African American, you're not going to understand our experience of how we struggle. Again, this is a whole like shared human experience thing that these people can't fucking register in their brain. And also, how many of you were alive when your great-great-grandparents were going through all this stuff anyways? Like, it's just this like continual battle where they try to pretend like, we know how it feels and you don't. And it's like, I think everyone on a basic level can understand that there are horrible things that have happened and it sucks, but like, let's fucking move on. We don't need to make this a thing constantly. We don't need to constantly cry about it. We don't need to constantly claim that other people don't understand. Like, it's just fucking insane that they claim literally just based on your skin color, you will not understand what it's like to go through this certain experience. People since the beginning of time have shared stories and learned experiences together that way. And it's just, yeah, it's baffling. James says, this video is a video from Insomniac, never playing a game from them again. So my understanding is this is the training that the Insomniac team was asked to watch. I don't know if they got like a company to go out and talk to them and film this together with them, or if this is actually Insomniac employees. And I haven't seen the whole video, so maybe it becomes clear at some point. But this is the actual training that Insomniac goes through. And also, they go through those, like, required calls with, like, queer African people or some fucking shit. I don't fucking know. So, continuing.
There's, you know, so many ways to be a queer woman. And that's not something that you see a lot of in media right now, is that kind of, like, diversity within the identity.
There's diversity within the Latinx community, and I feel like showing the struggles for each character will show the diversity. You'll understand better like why each character acts a certain way within that Latinx community.
You have to first start with what country. Were they born there? When did they leave? If they left? How they were raised.
What country are they from? And then proceeds to get the flag wrong between Sweet Baby and Insomniac. This is fucking unreal. Like, how did you fuck up something so basic after all of this fucking training and obsession over this dumb shit? That's the thing that gets to me. How did you fuck up so badly, man?
Raised, what that was like, and that's where I would start to create a character, because that experience, that's gonna affect their life, like, heavily.
Normally we're not the hero, we're always the villain.
Normally we're not the hero, we're always the villain. Nobody's made that a fucking rule either. I don't know where the fuck you think that came from. Like, I don't understand these people's obsession with fucking trying to create this narrative that doesn't exist. This narrative literally does not fucking exist. Just because there's white male protagonists in games doesn't mean that, like, Latino people or black people or whatever are always the villains in games either. It's just, I don't understand where they get this shit from.
Afro-Latinas that, like, if they're light-skinned, I feel like their roles are a lot different from the dark-skinned ones.
Even in animation, like the fact that Scar was darker than Mufasa and Simba. If they're family, why couldn't they all have been the same shade? But, you know, the darker was the evil and things like that.
What? Do I even need to comment on that? Like, that's fucking delusional. The darker is the evil, and the light is the good guy, and the dark is the bad guy. Like, this is the most juvenile way of thinking, and no one fucking thinks like this, except for these people. And you literally took Lion King as your example? Like, what? Fucking what? I can't imagine working at this company and watching this and not crying, laughing. Scar's black now, everyone. Even though they're from the same family. Holy fucking shit, bro. Holy fucking shit.
My daddy with Panther claws in his chest.
I feel like a good movie with a bad guy, you see why the bad guy became bad and you see their backstory. So it's not really much like good versus bad, but like how they are given that role.
As long as like the villain is just like a villain because he himself as a person is a villain and it's not because of his identity that he's portrayed as a villain.
Part of
You're an enemy because you black. You're Scar. You're our enemy now. You're slightly darker. You're definitely a black line, and you're the fucking enemy. I just like, who thinks like this? Literally, who thinks these are the people that think like this? They're fucking stupid. How are these people making games? I don't understand. Holy shit. I think it's time to do some Scar posting on Twitter, guys. I think we're gonna have to start doing some Scar posting.
what good representation means is really just that like queer characters can be anything. They can be the hero, they can be the villain, they can be whatever. You start getting into a problem when it's like the queerness itself being villainized.
I would feel so much better if when I see a character and he's speaking and he says something that's like specific to my culture because he's from there, I would be oh my God, like that's great.
We feel closer to each other when we hear the language, but when we hear it spoken correctly, it kind of, the closeness is even stronger.
Puerto Ricans speak Spanish language differently than a Dominican, a Mexican, and
right. They literally brought up that Puerto Ricans speak different, like, dialect of whatever Spanish, but you got the flag wrong. After all of that, you got the fucking flag wrong. Like, what? Oh, thank you so much. Wait has dropped a code, guys. If you're in chat, Wait has dropped a code for you guys. Whoever gets that first, that is awesome of Wait. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, chat's just flipping out over the fucking Scar thing because it's just so fucking stupid. Scar, bruh, I'm sorry, Scar is black? I can't identify on the Dark Lion, And yeah, like DJ said, you're just looking for racism where it doesn't exist, and that's what these people fucking do, and they continue to do it, and they cry enough that people take it seriously, because it's human nature to see, oh, somebody is the victim in this situation, somebody is like feeling like disadvantaged, or they're upset. It's like human nature to want to console these people and protect them and whatever, but we have to understand that this is emotional manipulation. This is completely emotional manipulation. They're completely making things out of nowhere. And it should be laughed at. It should be pointed and laughed at. You shouldn't be fucking even, like, indulging any of this shit. Just that one few second clip alone saying that fucking Scar is black. Like, what? And yeah, DJ says, seriously, how many video games can anyone name where the fucking villain is a villain because of his goddamn identity. And yeah, like James said, that's the mental capacity of our enemies, Lamau. For us to win, all we gotta do is show them a dark-haired cartoon lion, and they lose their shit. Absolutely. Dude says, the last Insomniac game that I played when it was relevant was Resistance 2 back in 2008. I only played the PS2 Ratchet games recently through the PS3 collection. I still need to play those. I don't know if I'm feeling super encouraged to play them at this point. As DJ said, we was Scar and shit. Fucking A, man. Delusional. By the way, we're not even halfway through this fucking video, so I don't even know where we go from here. But just unreal.
So that's how you can determine what's a true Puerto Rican person.
We're happy to hear someone talking Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish, and we're like, oh, are you Puerto Rican? Where are you from? Oh yeah, I grew up there, and like, that's who we are, you know. We like to find each other.
Media depictions have been sort of very emasculating.
Portrayal of Asian men, they like don't make the guy seem like a sexy guy or just like someone who's attractive and has attractive qualities.
Just kind of like that like funny Asian dude in that movie who has an accent, who's kind of like goofy looking or like nerdy looking, you know?
Funny fat guy falls on face.
Visually, I think it's an exceptional job done with the way his hair is structured, skin tone.
Yeah, crazy. Static electricity.
His English, not like what he was saying, but the accent sounded very white.
He does not sound.
The accent, not what he was saying, sounded very white. Oh god, this person's got a black Tina shirt. I'm sure this is gonna go fucking well. I'm sure this is gonna be great. What the fuck, man? These people are just fucking, just so stupid, man.
Like, he's from New York. And I'm like, is he hiding his accent? Is he trying to be different? Que guapo.
Mom, stop.
Like, when he was like, mom, like, he'd be like, mom.
Yeah, if they're young black people, and this is based in Brooklyn, I expect them to use some sort of urban slang or ebonics.
Dude, as soon as they said prep school, anything, nothing's gonna surprise me. Because they'd be different. Like, prep school people are a little different.
Looking good.
He would be code switching. Code switching is basically like you just talk different to different people, essentially, what will make your life easier.
Now they're using the term code switching, which is essentially to say, when you're in different environments, the way that you act is based on that. And a lot of people use this as an example of racism, like, oh, black people feel like they have to speak a certain way to white people or Asian people or whatever it is to fit in naturally with them because they don't want to be questioned on the way that they speak. That's exactly what she's trying to say. And again, this is all fucking delusional shit. He's just speaking the way he wants to fucking speak. He's not walking into a random room being like, oh, there's 3 white men here. Quick, I must be like this. Like, that's not what's fucking happening here. That's not what's fucking happening here at all. They're never, like James says, they are never happy. They will never be satisfied. This is the character that they prop up on a fucking pedestal, and even here they're nitpicking. Oh, his accent's too white. I don't like his accent. It's too fucking white. Go fuck yourself, man. Like, absolute fucking state, man. And yeah, like DJ said, he sounded very white is probably one of the most racist things said in this dumb video. It is completely racist to say, oh, his voice sounded white. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? But yeah, the coded thing is just such stupid victim-y shit too.
I don't see like African American culture through him. He just looks like a preppy black boy.
This is so racist in itself. I don't see black culture through him. He's just a preppy black boy. That's so racist. You're literally the ones being fucking racist. I'm just in disbelief. I'm in disbelief that they quite literally can sit there and be like, oh yeah, he's not black enough for us. What the fuck do you want from people? Let people be who they are. I mean, again, this is a fictional fucking character. Who fucking cares? But like, what the fuck? Oh my fucking god, man. Oh my fucking god.
That outfit where you're wearing the headphones, got a bubble jacket and stuff like that. It's a lot closer than the uniform, gray sweater type of thing.
Mijo, can you clear the table?
Yes, ma'am.
Gracias.
I think that was really cool, like that clip, how they transitioned back and forth, how the mother specifically transitioned back and forth between Spanish and English, and then how he grasped what she said. He didn't speak back to her in Spanish, but he still responded, and he knew what she was saying.
Really? Your campaign manager on Christmas Eve?
I might respond depending on what was being said or asked, but most of the times I respond back in English.
People are losing their homes left and right to these cabrones. That's why I'm running for office.
Her use of the word, esos cabrones, I use that word every day. So that sounded right. It was Spanglish, but it was right on cue.
The mother wasn't using mijo right, in a sense, because it feels like the mother's overusing it.
Thanks for getting the apartment ready, mijo. Because this is our home, mijo. Mijo.
The way the character.
Again, this is the whole thing of like, you are pushing so hard for this diversity shit that at this point, the people developing this game feel a need to fucking add the word every few minutes so that you're like, see, look, we have the diversity. It's right here. Look, it's right here. The diversity's fucking here. That's why they're repeating the stupid fucking word more than a few times than they should, because they're so fucking afraid of you people coming in and nitpicking and saying, oh, this is not representative of, this character doesn't feel like black culture. He's too whitewashed. You're literally calling this guy whitewashed. Like, your fucking expectations are what is creating these things where like, he's not accurate to me anymore because the mom said the word too many times. You don't say it that many fucking times. Like, yeah, like JT said, my final brain cell is on its limits. It's like, it's about to fall out of my fucking head and just like roll into an abyss at this point. I'm in disbelief that anyone even fucking made this video. Like, I'm shocked that this is not a parody. This feels like a fucking parody to me. It's a nightmare reality we're fucking in, guys, honestly.
Character said the word mijo. I think it sounded more Mexican. Puerto Ricans will say ay mijo, just like that. But Mexican will do more emphasis on the following consonant, mijo. So that sound, that's the difference right there. So that's why I thought it was Mexican.
It's your home, not mine. After he said, it's your home, not mine, I would think that she would have said something after that.
She was almost like seeking his approval. And Puerto Rican mothers, they even if they want your approval, they're not gonna act like they want your approval. This feels like authentic to me. Like,
I just want to point out what Dasis Goda said in chat, which he says they paid people to do this. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't 100% clear to me. Cult of Carl, who was in our Discord and who's a Ultimate member, reached out to me and wanted me to really cover this. This did happen back in December, but he felt like there wasn't enough eyes on this, so that's what we're watching right now. And to me, it came across like this was the diversity training essentially that Insomniac goes through. That's what I've heard from multiple sources. And that they're also required to be on like a bunch of Discord calls with like queer African people or some shit. I don't fucking know. But it wasn't clear to me whether it was the actual team that built this training, like if it was maybe, people that volunteered in the team, or if they paid like an external company to do this. So Dasis Gotis, if you have more information on that, let us know. Regardless, the people at Insomniac are forced to watch this in order to work there. Fucking retarded, man. Fucking retarded.
like the way that she's dressed, even the way that she's kind of like carrying herself, like tomboy femme, I think is like what we would call her. Yeah, and that's because like with the boots, yeah, she's like not super femme, not super butch. And I guess that's part of like what feels real about it to me. It's not like somebody is like, you know, trying to come up with like a very like extreme version of like what a lesbian might look like.
It was weird when she touched his knee like that. So in my head, I was thinking, you know, she was attracted to women, but after this scene, I'm thinking maybe she is bisexual.
If she is gay, then let's...
Touching knees is literally gay now. Excuse me? Touching someone's leg is literally gay. Can like, what? How is this gay or bisexual? Why would you even notice that? Like, what is it that, like, in your brain triggers, like... It was kind of weird that she touched his leg. So now I'm thinking maybe she's, like, gay or bisexual. What? Fucking what? As James put it, what the fuck does this have to do with Spider-Man? And DJ is saying, this video is making me dry heave. Bro, I know. And DJ also says, and of course these standards will be changed each week because these goalposts were built on wheels. Thank you. It's 100%. It's built on fucking wheels. It's like every day it's something different. And like, I know you were commenting on the earlier stuff, but my brain now is like, you can't touch a man's leg without being gay. Fellas, is it gay if a woman touches your leg? Let me know. Let me know. Fellas, is it fucking gay for a woman to touch your leg?
Like lean off of how much chemistry they have, but if she's bi, like, you know, go with it, but like be sure to show how she actually is queer.
To be young again, am I right?
This character is kind of like how it's always been done for Asian males. Like, they're not the attractive one. They don't own their masculinity or whatever.
The high-pitched voice, I think it's a stereotype. And going back to that issue with Asian American masculinity, it also comes out in the voices as well.
Yo!
I think it's also a stereotype that nerds have glasses, especially Asian American kids. That right away strikes me as stereotypical and inauthentic because I see plenty of nerds on campus without glasses. So
I am a little surprised that it took this long for us to know that Puerto Rican was the Hispanic background.
There's no flag, no ornaments, no decorations that would be perceived as having a Latino essence in the apartment.
Every single house has these things. Like, it's like if she's living with her grandma or her mom, you're gonna see freaking plastic on the couch.
More plants. I only see one in
I didn't even fully catch what she was saying. Was she complaining about the plastic on the couch, whether it existed or didn't exist? Are you getting to a point where we're literally analyzing whether or not there's plastic on a fucking couch and that makes them Puerto Rican or not Puerto Rican? Like, that didn't even fucking register in my brain because of how retarded that was. Is she literally complaining about the plastic on the couch? Fucking what? God, we only have one more minute of this. It's my brain's fucking gone. We're gonna laugh at stupid shit. I had a few other things we're just gonna fucking laugh at stupid shit after this. I can't fucking deal with it, man. What the fuck? The fuck?
Normally, like here, you can have something hanging.
Like a little coquille frog. I think every abuela bathroom that I have been has some of those. Either the little kid, like with the drawers on his feet. Something that represents that someone drinks coffee in that house, like a cafetera or the bustelo, visible bustelo on the side. There's not enough food on the table.
In a typical Puerto Rican house.
There's not enough food on the table for them to be Puerto Rican. Guys, there is not enough food on this table. Puerto Rican people eat a lot of fucking food, apparently. There is not a lot of food on this table. Therefore, this is inauthentic to Puerto Rican people. The fucking state of just all of this. The fucking state. Hello, Fallen Angel. How you doing? I sympathize exactly with what you're saying. Smoo. Hello, Smoo. Says, what the fuck are we actually... Or what the actual fuck are we watching? We're watching the diversity training for Insomniac at the moment. Insomniac, apparently, according to... Dasis Godis in the chat that Insomniac actually paid for this, and Cult of Carl sent this my way because he let me know that this is the diversity training that Insomniac goes through internally, and they're also forced to talk to queer black people in order to work on this game. Apparently, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm just like in shock, man. You missed some bangers, including in The Lion King, Scar being darker, and therefore it means that, like, black people are always depicted as evil, like, even though, like, Scar's a fucking, like, lion. I'm in disbelief. My brain is gone, man. My brain is fucking gone. I don't... What the fuck?
Household, there would usually be pernil, potato salad, a lettuce and tomato salad, arroz and gandules, rice and chickpeas, a ham.
This could be a white room. I've walked into white guys' rooms that look like this.
There's nothing Spanish in his room that I could identify as Spanish.
This is a white room. This is a fucking white room. Oh my god, this room is so white. This is a white fucking room. What the fuck does that mean? So now, according to these people, black people, white people, we all have different rooms. Our room has to look different because my skin color, I have to have a brown room, everyone. Everyone, what should I put in my brown room? Please let me know. If you're watching this after the stream, let me know in chat, in the comments, what should be in my brown room. I would love to know. Yeah, DJ said 0 out of 10. Room not Spanish enough. IGN. Oh my god. And what do I do? James and I, so do we make the room half white, half brown? Do we have a line in the sand, pretty much? And then we have to cut it down the middle and be like, okay, on this side of the room we can have this stuff because that's like a white boy's room. And then on this side, we can put some brown girl stuff, whatever the fuck that means. I can't believe anyone is actually subjected to watching this in their life. I feel so bad for the people that have to fucking watch this. I feel bad for us having to fucking watch this, but we're almost done. We only have 19 seconds left, thankfully. So we'll just get through it and then we'll fucking move on to something more funny.
It's all about the trinkets or flag, something draped that represents Puerto Rico. Just something small.
I think this would be an actual person. I don't think it would just be some random black guy with afro.
That was Insomniac's Culture Studies and Protocols. That just fucking happened. That just fucking happened. I don't even know what to say to all of that. It's incredibly fucking racist, half of the shit they said in there, and this is supposed to be what these companies are listening to in order to be more inclusive. And of course, JT pointed out in the comments earlier, the top comment is they still got the Puerto Rican flag wrong after all of that, after having Sweet Baby come in, after having these people come study it, everything. Saying, oh, there's not enough flags in this, all this stuff, and you still got the flag wrong. Holy shit. Another comment says, probably paid millions for a consulting firm just for this. No wonder budgets are getting crazy high nowadays. Exactly. You literally are, you're spending the money that you could use to make a good game on this fucking garbage. On this absolute fucking garbage. God, I almost threw up watching the video. This is why Western AAA games cost $300 million. I get that they want to not offend anyone, but my god, you just read up a couple of wiki articles and that's it. Even that, I don't think people should be subjected to that, but it's fucking stupid. Latinx stopped watching the second I heard that. Way to fucking go. Trying to resolve racism with more racism. Yeah. So they're getting fucking ratioed in, I mean, this is a Reddit post anyways, but it's just the absolute fucking state of these people. Someone saying, I'm so glad the leaks happen. This company deserves to suffer. I've never wanted to play a Spider-Man game less in my life. And I have Spider-Man 2. I got it for free. No, we're not watching this again. Jesus Christ, do not play again. Holy fuck. But yeah, I got Spider-Man 2 for free and I'm like, should I play it? But I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can after all of that. It's unreal. Thank you, Cult of Carl, for bringing that to our attention. Like I said, I saw some rumblings of it from a glance when I saw it on social media. It really just looked like run-of-the-mill, diversity training. As we know, so many different corporations nowadays put people through this. It's not necessarily a new concept. but just the absolute state of the conversation that happened there and how deep that went into like just their psyche and how like shallow they think of other people and how they think of themselves. It's truly, truly, truly just baffling. So thank you again, Cult of Carl. I hope that you're satisfied with the coverage that we did on this channel for that. And if there's any other updates, feel free to message me anytime about it, and we can always revisit the story or update the story just like we do with like Running with Scissors or anything else. Okay. I've gone through most of my stuff, but there is still some more I want to do. I want to have some laughs at the end of this. So at the very end, we're going to go through a really fun thread about classic Gamergate. But before that, this dropped like, let's say maybe 30, 45 minutes before I was planning to go live. And I haven't looked into it yet. I do want to see what is going on. And I do also want to read the Sweet Baby Wikipedia because I haven't read that yet either. So we're going to do this first. There it is, and I'll just wait for it to load before it does this thing. So there is this account, Twitter, called Safe in Our World. It says, we've teamed up with Take This Org. Now, if you guys remember, Take This Org is the article that I covered yesterday. That was the What to Do in Case of Gamergate 2 article that is being funded by the Department of Homeland Security. Okay? And so Take This are the ones that are responsible for that article we saw yesterday. Now, today, we have this come out a few hours ago, 10 a.m. my time, so a few hours ago. And this is a new resource for people in the gaming industry. So as they've said themselves, we've teamed up with Take This Org to create the Event Safety Standards Guide, which aims to provide concrete guidance to people in the game industry on how events can be created in a safer, more inclusive manner. Let's take a look at this. I've not looked at it myself yet. This could be a nothing burger. This absolutely could be nothing, but just the fact that they're partnering with this other company that's doing this Department of Homeland Security stuff, it set off a red flag for me. So let's take a look. Yeah, sure. I don't care. Take cookies. Event safety standards. We've teamed up with Take This to create the Event Safety Standards Guide, which aims to provide concrete guidance to people in the game industry on how events can be created in a safer, more inclusive manner. Let me just have a sip of my disgusting Diet Coke. This includes looking at the planning policies and culture of your event, as well as what tools are made available, providing event organizers with a range of resources they can use to make their event safer and more approachable for all members of the games industry. The guide also includes guidance for event and conference attendees and supervisors on how to employ safety tools and supports, including accessing safe local supports. It's like really bad English. We have created this guide in response to the continued pervasive concerns about harassment, safety, and accessibility at game industry events across the globe. As part of the effort, we have consulted with members of the industry and other advocacy groups in games. We are grateful to all of them for their thoughtful review. And it says, content warning. This document discusses a variety of topics which may be distressing to some. This includes discussions of alcohol use, harassment, and sexual assaults. Guys, I haven't looked at this yet. We're going to dive in, but I just noticed on the right-hand side here some of their old articles. Ubisoft and Safe in Our World partner to combat in-game toxicity. So maybe if we have some time and we don't know what that is, we can look at that. But let's dive into this Event Safety Standards Guide that was released today. And you can even download it. I'm not fucking downloading your shit, but let's see. Will it let me do the PDF here? Let's find out. Let's fucking find out. But yeah, so it says the Event Safety Standards Guide aims to provide concrete guidance to people in the game industry on how events can be created in a safer, more inclusive manner. This is all the same shit I just read on the front page. And yeah, thank you for the warning, I guess. I don't fucking need a warning, but that's fine. Okay, perfect. Here is the safety guide. We're not going to read it for a third fucking time, what they're explaining. We get it. You're scared for some fucking reason. So, planning. What is the purpose of your event? Before you start planning, there are some framing questions that you should be able to answer. Your answers will help guide you in creating an event that addresses your goals and works the best it can for your intended audience. We suggest framing your planning process around the concept of thriving. What does it look like when you and your guests are able to thrive in an event? And how can that advance everyone's goals in the safest and most satisfying way possible? This means that you want to design the event with the purpose in mind, not the experience. The experience will follow from the goals. So the questions. Is this event primarily intended to function as a networking, socializing, entertainment, recruiting, pitching, or learning event? What aspects of the event serve or detract from that function? i.e., if you are planning a networking event, have you provided some tools to promote fruitful networking? If you're planning a mixer, are you supplying name tags? Like, this is basic fucking shit. People know this. Who is your event for and why are others included? In other words, are the key audiences at the forefront of your mind in addressing accessibility, safety, and experience? Will the inclusion of other people enhance or detract from that experience? If you are hosting an event for women, are you taking the steps to foreground their needs? What needs? What fucking needs? What fucking needs do I, like, I can show up to a fucking gaming convention just fine. I don't need you making a little fucking cubby hole for me where it's like, oh, you're coming in, you're a woman in gaming? Here, let me give you another wristband or some shit. You get the exclusive section. Like, what the fuck needs do I need? I've gone to gaming conventions my whole fucking life with no problem. Zero problem. In fact, I've made some people that I'm still friends with to this day I've met at fucking conventions. To this fucking day. I've never once felt like I needed to be catered to fucking show up. And this next sentence, this is really the fucking hilarious thing. Will the inclusion of men make the event feel less safe or accessible to them? So women are at a point now where we can't even be in the same room as fucking men at a gaming event. This is insane. This is fucking insane. Dude says he's heading out. Need to do some lawn work before I stream later tonight. Have fun with the deep dives. Well, thank you, dude, and thanks for hanging out. And thank you for dealing with YouTube. Like I said, if the setup works and it scales, I will eventually move this to multi-streaming. But for now, I'm just doing YouTube to make sure it can handle it. How long is this fucking thing? This is so long, bro. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll read through it. But a lot of this is just common sense shit. Alcohol at events. Alcohol, while traditionally served in social functions for adults in the Western world, has been linked to a variety of deleterious social and health outcomes. And then they're quoting some random things, the World Health Organization, whatever. In the game industry, alcohol-centric events at or around major conventions have also been events where alleged sexual assaults occurred, frequently through alcoholic drinks which have been drugged or spiked. So people cannot be trusted with alcohol, apparently. Apparently, if you have alcohol at your event, you're now opening up all of these women who might not even want to fucking be at your event because there's men around. Now they're all worried about sexual assault, apparently. Because we can't all just fucking sit and have a drink and be responsible. It's almost as if the people that are bad actors are going to be bad actors regardless. It doesn't matter if you fucking put a 10-page PDF in front of them. Like, people who are responsible will always be responsible. People who are not responsible won't be. You can't control that. You don't want to punish everyone just because a few people can't handle their liquor. Insane. There are billions of people globally who do not drink alcohol for religious, health, and other social reasons. Serving alcohol exclusively or with minimally available alternatives can be tactically exclusionary to those who do not equally participate in alcoholic-centric social rituals. I mean, again, like, you can have, if you're having a rum and coke at your fucking event, then people can just drink the coke. It doesn't matter. A lot of these people that choose not to drink alcohol, which is totally fine, that's your choice. I personally still drink alcohol, but if you choose not to, that's totally fine. You're not being significantly peer pressured to always drink. And if you are, you also have the complete say to say, you know what, no, I don't want to drink. And people go, okay. Close this tab. But, you know, it's like they're acting like, oh, if we put alcohol in front of these people, we don't know what's going to happen, or they're going to feel like sad. It's like, no one fucking cares, man. Additionally, many non-alcoholic drinkers frequently feel pressured to justify or rationalize their abstination, which often involves the pressured revelation of private information. It's not your responsibility as the person hosting the event if the people are drinking or not drinking or any of that. Obviously, like, I don't know how it is worldwide, but like in my province, for example, we do have a thing that bartenders are trained on, and essentially they have to follow that, and so they can only serve you so many drinks at a time, essentially, stuff like that, right? That's on the venue to cooperate with that, but like anything else, you can't control the actions of other people, right? So what the fuck? To be more readily inclusive of everyone, as well as to potentially reduce the risk of deleterious outcomes at one's event, consider the following strategies. Not allowing or serving alcohol at all. So now they're saying, don't even have alcohol at your fucking gaming event, because who knows what private information is going to come out there. What if somebody spikes your drink? What if somebody sexually harasses you? This is all like just paranoid shit, man. It's all paranoid shit. We're all fucking adults here. Like, chill the fuck out. Center the focus, alternatively set aside a portion of the event as alcohol-free. Center the focus of the event on something other than alcohol consumption. Example, networking at a tea shop or playing arcade games instead of gathering at a bar or nightclub. When I go to PAX, I've been to PAX a few times. There's a few gaming expos around here, whether they're like smaller or more giant ones, like you get into like Comic-Con style ones. In Canada, we have one called Fan Expo. When you get into conventions like that, I'm not thinking about where's the nearest bar. I need to have a drink in my hand right now. I'm paying to go to that event because I like video games and I want to either go meet people that have worked on video games, or I just want to be in like, shop in like their little area where sometimes like tables will come in and people sell stuff around video games. Maybe I want to see the statues. Maybe I want to see the panels. Maybe I just want to meet other people there that also game. Like, I'm not thinking like, oh, where's the bar right away? But I will go to the bar and I will get a drink, and that's fine. I'm an adult. And I can fucking go to the bar and have a drink and enjoy my video games at the same time. You don't have to cater your event differently. And alcohol is not the main focus of this fucking event to begin with. It's the video games. You didn't call it an alcohol convention. You called it a fucking video game convention. So it's just unreal that they have to go this far to fucking brainwash you and be like, oh, you shouldn't have any alcohol at your event. If alcohol is served, ensure that appealing and diverse non-alcoholic options are available. Okay, so if you do have alcohol, make sure you have like 50 different non-alcoholic drinks. Like, people are fucking fine. If whatever you use to mix in for your alcohol, people are gladly drink that straight by itself. Like, I've had days where I'm like, oh, maybe I don't feel like drinking today. Maybe I'll grab like a Coke or a pineapple juice or something. Like, these are common things in a bar anyways. But it's just the virtue signaling that's like insane about this. And again, they released this today, and we know that GDC is coming up very soon. I'm sure there's other industry events that are coming, in the following months as that starts to happen. And they're partnering with Take This, and Take This is the one that was responsible for the article talking about Gamergate 2. They announced all of this today. That Gamergate 2 article, I think, came out a few days ago, but I noticed it yesterday at least. So it's just a weird situation that they're trying to build right now. They're really trying to build this bubble around gamers are bad, or we need to be babied, or whatever they're fucking trying to do. But it's a lot of nannying. It's nanny state stuff. Limit how many drinks each person can order in order to ensure the event focuses on networking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. And that significant alcohol consumption doesn't alter the tone or safety of the event of others. Again, this is all like common sense. Drink tickets, wristband, punches. If there are concerns about the appearance of being cheap or stingy, we encourage you to provide messaging about why you are limiting the consumption of alcohol. Consider donating extra funds to a deserving cause or organization instead. So not only are you saying you don't need to serve alcohol, you're also saying, you know what, why don't you just donate the extra money from, maybe bring in less alcohol, and then you donate that money to like a cause. Take this, you're partnering with Safe in Our World. So what is a cause that you might want people to donate? Maybe it's about, I don't know, Gamergate 2? Maybe that, like, I want to see if I can find this article again. We talked about it yesterday. But, like, these are literally the same people 2 days ago that wrote this article responding to Gamergate 2. And now in this here, where is my... This here, they're clearly stating, why don't you donate to other causes? You literally are just claiming that there's like a targeted harassment campaign and this is how you can support people and all this stuff. It's all fucking scummy, man. I'm going to catch up with chat a little bit. You guys are popping off. I want to make sure that I give you guys some attention here too. Finishing up on the last conversation there. DJ says, this is why I bought Mutant Football League when I had the chance. The devs got shit on for not having women in their game and refused to bend the knee. It's a fucking football game. Why would you even have that? And dude before he left said just play Web of Shadows for 360. Absolutely, man. I still need to play through that whole game, but it looks really good. And yeah, you guys are talking about all this stuff here. Yeah, JT brings up the Wikipedia shut down the talks forums on SBI's wiki page. Then flat out said they don't care about the truth. I do have Mark Curran's tweet, and I do also have the Wikipedia page, so we can look at that after this. And yeah, Smooth's just commenting generally on this whole situation, saying, I find it honestly sickening that Alec Halawaka's sister is working with folks entangled in Sweet Baby stink stuff. Well, here's the thing, again, I don't want to divert too far from this conversation, but when Alec Halawaka died, Eileen Halawaka wrote like a Medium article. And in that, it was just very, like, dodgy and weird. And the thing is, everyone copes differently. So I didn't think too much of it back then. I was just like, okay, well, you know, this is obviously a huge loss for their family, and it's not my business, you know, what they're going through. Wish them the best and everything. But it was very standoffish the way the article was, and it was very much kind of, like, almost insinuating that it was natural causes when that wasn't the case. He offed himself because of what was going on, so... And yeah, you guys are chatting. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. We're having a lot of fun with this deep dive here, which I'm sure is only going to get more interesting here. But yeah, like you guys are saying, this is just all fucking ridiculous. And dude says, as long as it's not just Twitch, I can live with it. Twitch only is a no-go for me. I'm not a big fan of Twitch myself either. Omega says, be back later. Be back later? All right, no worries, no worries. You have fun. Thank you for hanging out with us. And yeah, JT says, I don't have enough adult drinks or devil's lettuce for this shit. Same here, brother. Smooth says, spiking drinks is why I barely drink in public nowadays. Well, I hope you were never a victim to that, because, you know, they'll paint it as like it's just women that get their drinks spiked, but it happens to men too. So I hope you've never gone through that. I hope it's just maybe a conscious decision you've made for yourself. DJ says, I need to get going too. Great show. Peace, K. See you later, DJ. Thanks for hanging out. To finish off what Omega was saying here, pretty sure that nonprofit is just a way to get an additional income from taxpayers, exactly, and put pressure with the appearance of the government. Pretty sure Take This has a donation link somewhere on their site too. I would not be surprised. I would not be remotely surprised. This is just all fucking stupid, man. Oh, Lord, guys. Okay. Anyways, yeah, they're just virtue signaling, pretty much saying don't, you know, blah, 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 don't have alcohol. Provide transportation vouchers. I agree. Like, if you're going to have people drinking, don't encourage them to drive. That's totally fine. Supply chemical test strips with all drinks, which allow consumers to test for substances used to spike drinks. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine to offer that. I don't think it's necessarily that the company is on the hook to do that, but if they want to do that, great. I'm not against that. And cover all served drinks with drink lids. Yeah, I think that's an easy solution. Just put a lid on it. A popular example of a low-energy, no-alcohol event at a major developer conference is an annual ice cream social in an outdoor park during daylight hours, organized by someone who doesn't drink alcohol. Several of the present authors have attended this event over multiple years, and some of the most common feedback includes: the event promotes increased relationship building among industry professionals in a manner alcohol-centric events do not. The event is more comfortable for those who do not drink alcohol, as they do not feel pressure to conform or pressure to explain their lack of social conformity. The public daytime setting feels generally safer for many people as opposed to nightclubs and bars. And now we're getting into the sensory stuff, which again is just like, you're not responsible. You're not fucking responsible. If this starts to like drone on, oh God, it's getting worse. I'm gonna skim through some of this because it just seems like it's all fucking moral shitting for no reason. Sensory overstimulation is a major obstacle for many in attending events in and around conventions. Various medical, psychiatric, and neurodevelopmental diagnosis feature sensory criteria as either a primary or secondary consideration in their diagnosis or management. For example, in the U.S., part of the diagnostic criteria for autism includes hyperactivity to various sensory experiences. Those struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder can also experience exaggerated startle responses at sensory experiences which remind them of traumatic events. How is this any your responsibility as a fucking person running this event? It's not. Irrespective of diagnosis and disability status, sensory overwhelm is a common experience at large, crowded events, especially when events focus on a high production value. Takes this internal data on the use of our moderated mental health support spaces at major gaming conventions show that approximately half of the people utilizing the room do so because of sensory overwhelm. Sensory-friendly spaces create a more accessible environment by engineering sensory stimuli to empower individuals with sensory sensitivities to participate and engage with the physical event space. While different events have different scale and capacities for providing a fully staffed room for low sensory experiences, all events should consider several things. Identify the scale of utilization of an event space capacity, communicate that to the attendees so attendees know, yeah, okay, again, this is all just like common fucking sense. Yeah, okay, you want to have a sensory room, go for it. I don't fucking care. What do you want? But it's just like the virtue signaling of it all. Okay, yeah, provide a room. Yeah, we don't need to know how to make this space. Sharing pronouns. Communicating personal pronouns, whether you are cisgender or identify outside of the gender binary, is an important step towards creating an inclusive event. When all event attendees communicate their pronouns, it creates a space in which trans and non-binary people can do so without feeling othered or as if they are causing a fuss. It also means that trans and non-binary attendees are more likely to be able to enjoy the event without being misgendered, which can cause significant emotional distress. Pronouns can be communicated easily at events on name tags, badges, stickers, etc. So this is why you're seeing all this shit at like PAX and stuff, is because they're fucking having this shoved down their throat now too. At minimum, you should have options for she, her, hers, he, him, his, and they, them, theirs. However, it is best practice to include a blank option to allow attendees to write their own, as they may use multiple sets of pronouns or neopronouns. What are neopronouns? What's a neopronoun? I don't even know what that means. What? Neopronouns are non-binary pronouns used in place of expressing gender identifiers she, he, and they. They have gained popularity within mostly online queer spaces where they've become an exercise in self-expression within that community. According to Human Rights Campaign, neopronouns are those pronouns besides the ones most commonly used in a particular language. Neopronouns are defined as a group of pronouns that fall outside of these more common pronouns. Okay. My brain cells are gone, man. Note that some people may not be comfortable sharing their pronouns for a variety of reasons. Why would you... why? If you're gonna go out of your way to fucking create pronouns for yourself, why would you be uncomfortable sharing it at that point? So making this process entirely optional and not calling attention to those who do not want to share pronouns is important. Be mindful of potential misuses of these tools. Well, we know that a lot of people like to troll with this stuff too, because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Detailed descriptors of expectations, screens, noise levels, exits, outdoor space. Like, these are just fucking sensitive people, man. Like, holy fuck. For many people, especially those of marginalized identities, knowing as much as possible about the event's purpose, venue, size, refreshments, food options, schedules, and policies is actually part of their ability to ensure their own well-being. I have to get the schematics of this whole place and know exactly where everyone is going to stand before I show up at this event in order for me to feel comfortable showing up to this event. Like, this is fucking insane. Attending an event alone in an unfamiliar setting can be anxiety-inducing. People with neurodevelopment... Like, yeah, but this is, again, like... You're not responsible as a company organizing these events to think about every little fucking tiny thing that comes up. You're fucking hosting an event. Like, you have other things to do besides worrying about the shit. It's insane. It's insane how much we're babying society. And this is literally creating this more. It's because we keep fucking doing this shit. Digging around for this information can be burdensome. By communicating the details of your event clearly, you can support a huge number of attendees and begin to foster considerate and inclusive event culture. Make as much information as you can available on the website, on ticket information, and during the booking process. If you can, include images to better inform guests of the location and what to expect, especially if the venue is difficult to find. Information provided may include, but is not limited to, noise level, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Be proactive and transparent about things like capacity, seating, availability. Yeah, that's fine. That's just common sense too. Okay. Policies. Clearly defined event safety standards and procedures both reduce liability to event organizers as well as increase the confidence of attendees to be able to enjoy themselves safely. Aside from clearly defined internal policies, event organizers should also be aware of separate venue policies. Yeah, of course. Safety procedures and policies should clearly define at minimum what constitutes a medical emergency and a behavioral emergency. Okay? Harassment and evacuation. Safety procedures should clearly outline steps to address each emergency situation defined. This should include who on the staff is responsible. Okay, yeah. Identity confirmed lists. One of the key protections for people at events is knowing who is in the room both during the event and in order to address any behavior afterwards. Even if people want to attend at the last minute and you want to welcome them in, it's important to have everyone's name and identity confirmed and on a list that can be referred back to. You want to know the name of every single fucking person that shows up to this gaming event. Why? Why do you need that information? It's a fucking public event. I would assume that's what you're organizing. Do note that it's always okay not to include last minute guests in an event if you do not feel it will maintain the safety and integrity of this event. Just let folks know about the policy ahead of time. Okay, I don't feel like telling you my name because I'm already paying you $30 to go into your event. And then what, you get kicked out because of that? It's fucking stupid too. Okay, yeah, this is just general, like, oh, you know, make sure you verify the name. What? Anonymity and unwelcome guests detract significantly from safety and security. They don't want you to be anonymous, and we're seeing this on fucking Twitter every fucking day too. And what about the fucking bitch that went to the Discord and was like, how come none of you have your profile pictures and all this stuff up? What's going on? How come you don't have that up? Like, it's like, there's a reason people go anonymous. I am not anonymous because it doesn't make sense for what I'm building here. But the reason why a lot of people go anonymous is because all of you are fucking psychotic. And, like, they don't want their personal information out there because they don't want to be targeted for having a different opinion than you. Quick note on safety and privacy. Yeah, make sure you have a plan in place to address this concern if it arises. Oh my god. Yeah, talking about pronouns and shit. Sign code of conduct. People can't behave correctly if they don't know what's expected of them. Codes of conduct establish and reinforce behavioral norms. They also establish a clear standard guide against which complaints and conflicts can be measured in real time. If you receive a complaint or witness something troubling, you have a clear set of standards to use to determine next steps. To be effective, codes of conduct need to be simple, specific, clear, and enforceable. Specific means that actual behaviors, yeah, that's fine. For example, be nice is unclear and overly general. Instead, harassing behavior is unacceptable and result in removal from the event. See, when somebody says to me, harassing behavior is unacceptable and will result in removal from the event, I ask you, what is harassment? Please clarify. If I have a disagreement with somebody there, am I harassing them? No. Here we go. Yeah, thank you. What constitutes harassment must then be clearly defined. Luckily, many good definitions exist, such as the one Take This uses in their own policy. Well, let's find out what they think. I'm not going to read it if it's super long. Well, it's super long. That's fine. Let's read the bullet points. Do not make offensive remarks or use of offensive language. Offensive language is defined as words or images that have high likelihood of causing harm or intentionally used to put down or harass another member. So I can't say fuck. Do not troll, bully, grief, harass. What? Code of harassment is when you harass people. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, okay. Cursing in moderation as emphasis, surprise, or disbelief is acceptable. Cursing directly at someone is never allowed. No spamming, excessive self-promotion. No spamming / excessive self-promo / Pepe memes. Pepe memes are not allowed, guys. This is the Take This Discord code of conduct that they're talking about, by the way. Oh, they have the definition of harassment here, but let's keep reading this now because this is funny. Breaking these rules will result in a warning or a ban depending on the action. Please be wary of how much personal information you share, obviously. Don't post anything you wouldn't post publicly, obviously. Please avoid divisive topics, including political discussion of candidates, policies, etc., but you won't let the Pepes in. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what their definition of harassment is. Harassment and other problems. If a social media account tags or otherwise directs a message to an official Take This account that is inflammatory, harassing, or is otherwise In bad faith, the official account should ignore the post and report it to the relevant platform or authorities as applicable. Official take this accounts should not engage with accounts or posts whose purpose is to prompt an altercation or to otherwise harm the organization and or its members. In these cases, engagement of any kind encourages the bad behavior. You've not told me what harassment is in any of this, for the record. Oh, great. Look what else I'm finding here. Like, go to Take This's website. They explain what harassment is, and then you're just fucking, like, saying don't harass people. That doesn't fucking tell me anything. Absolute stays fucking. Hello, Dirk. Moo to you, too. Moo to you. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah. Fucking define consent, what it means and how to give and get it, and that you expect everyone to respect the standard. Physical touch, asking for personal information, being in proximity to others. Include this in your code of conduct. Consent is not a static thing, and consent is as important when going out to party at GDC. I see, there you go. They're talking about GDC. I knew that this came out specifically in preparation for GDC. They have not said it anywhere else yet. This is the only time they've mentioned it. That's important because clearly all of these people that are going to fucking GDC that are also tweeting about, oh, all these bigot gamers are so mad at us for talking about they're so mad because Sweet Baby exists. They're just targeting this little firm of 16 people because we're trying to make diversity in games and fuck these bigots. They literally came out with this because they're worried about the dialogue online about Sweet Baby. But they tried to pass this off as like, this is just a casual, like, we're going to tell you guys how to run your gaming events. But there it is. Consent is important when going out to a party at GDC with friends as it is in a bedroom or a street corner. The absolute fucking state of this gaming industry is insane. True consent must be voluntary, informed, and ongoing. Okay, yeah. Hey, I'm just curious. Do you think it's consensual for, you know, when people hire on Sweet Baby and then Sweet Baby is encouraging people to have a talk, have a coffee with their marketing teams? Do you think it's consensual that they're agreeing to the things that they're trying to put in the game when you go sit down with your marketing team and you make them realize what's going to happen if they don't do what you say with this like specific fist motion? Do you think that's then voluntary consent when they end up listening to what you have to say? Hello, in Black Belt. Hope you're doing well. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying. Informed because what you're consenting to must be clearly stated, understood, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Ongoing because it must be clear that it's totally valid for feelings or a sense of safety to change. Yeah, this is all common fucking sense. Address the use of discriminatory or exclusionary language and behavior. Have attendees agree not to use language, norms, and behaviors that inadvertently or intentionally exclude or cause harm to any of the attendees or potential attendees. People may intentionally weaponize pronoun tools to make the point that they disagree with their use. This should not be allowed. It's like just free speech is just completely fucking dead. It feels so fucking dead because people can't even handle like even slight like negative conversation. Well, make sure they don't say any bad words. Make sure they don't poke fun at this. Don't make any jokes. Don't do this. Again, it says 3, define harassment. You can use the definition described on page 3 of Takes This social media policy. Well, let's go back again. I'm going to click this link again. Oh, I got out of this. Whoops. Okay, anyways. There's nothing. You're not fucking telling me anything. You're not fucking telling me anything. You're literally not telling me anything. You're just saying don't harass people. What does that mean? Page next. Here. For clarity, the following types of posts are not considered violent. What? Harassment is defined as direct physical or verbal threats, engaging in behavior that attacks a person rather than calling out behavior, any activity designed to incite online mob behavior and create unsafe online or physical spaces for one or more people, gaslighting. Well, how many fucking people have been gaslighting all of us for saying that we want good quality fucking games? We're going to talk about that. Is that now harassment? I don't consider it harassment when people are doing that. It's fucking cringe to think that that's harassment, but by your own definition, you're kind of harassing gamers by telling us that we're fucking racist white people simply for saying that we want a good quality product. Just the absolute fucking state of these people. Anyway, we fucking get it. Like, psychological manipulation, which a person seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or in members of a targeted group, making them question their own memory, perception of reality, or comments that espouse hate speech, violence, or sexual assault of any kind. This is like, it's just exhausting, guys. It's really exhausting. All of us just want to play video games, and you have these fucking people prancing around at every turn, trying to coach everything we fucking do. Everything we fucking do. Absolute state of the game industry. Include expectations around alcohol consumption. Yeah, we get it. You don't like us drinking alcohol. Why? You worried that something's gonna fucking come up that you don't want people to know? Or you worried, like, it's all stupid, man. We're adults. JT says, protect the feelings of everyone and make sure to be inclusive, except the people we disagree with. Exactly. And Imp says, gaslighting. You mean like telling people to threaten their marketing team into hiring Sweet Baby? Exactly. Yeah. For that quote, like, it's a small quote in a GDC event, right? So is she talking about how do you get into the industry? They kind of paint themselves as like they're trying to show people how they can get into the industry. So maybe she's saying, if you want to get into the industry and you get to a point where you're a narrative writer, you need to go to the company you're consulting with and tell them that this is what your expectations are of the content. And if, make sure the marketing team understands if they don't follow the direction you're trying to push them in, this is what's going to happen. That to me is what is being implied. I don't know if it's about hiring them necessarily, but regardless, it's still a threat, in my opinion, to pretty much go and be like, I'm going to sit with the marketing team and I'm going to let them know what happens if you don't do this. That's a threat. Imp says, and then getting journalists to tell everybody nobody's getting threatened or coerced. Exactly. Unreal. Okay, yeah. This is all just common sense shit. Commitment to addressing incidents. Consider including in your code of conduct a statement detailing your commitment to take allegations seriously. For example, make clear the process for reporting issues and concerns both during and after the event, and detail the actions you intend to take upon receiving any complaints. Being clear about your stance and responsibility around harassment or allegations or of misconduct will increase confidence in attendees of your event that, should they experience any issues, they will be dealt with, and in turn, this statement can deter bad actors from engaging in appropriate behavior. In addition, including this statement in your code of conduct, my God, these words, is a prompt to create a plan for addressing allegations and incidents in an effective manner. In general, plans for addressing harm that occurs at events should keep in the mind the following principles. It is important in the healing process to acknowledge the experience, not just intent of any action. Commitments to do better next time must be concrete and actionable. This is effective accountability. Depending on the circumstances, commitments may also need to be public, as long as public statements will not cause further harm. Okay. Oh, Lord, how to train people. Like, this is just like a fucking rabbit hole. And again, I just want to remind anyone who might be coming into the middle of this, or who might have forgotten because I said this, 30 minutes ago when I started this. This website is partnered with the people that wrote Responding to Gamergate 2, and they just announced this today, and they are pretty much giving guidelines for how to host events. The reason they're doing this, which they weren't transparent in until like 6 pages deep into this, is because of GDC coming up. And so I'm sure that they're seeing all this online discourse and they're trying to get ahead of it and be like, we have harassment policies in place now. That's what this comes across as. Okay, train your staff on this shit. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Have safety tools available. Make sure you have face masks and all this. It's like public transportation, yeah. Easily identifiable event staff. This is all, again, common sense. Tools to communicate physical boundaries. There are many reasons someone may be uncomfortable with physical touching, including but not limited to avoiding illness or infection, anxiety, certain neurodevelopmental diagnosis. Yeah, maybe people just don't want to fucking be touched. That's fine. differing social and cultural backgrounds, as well as simply personal preferences. It can be difficult for people to advocate for and set their own physical boundaries. I mean, most people are fine being like, hey, fuck off, don't touch me. Providing a means by which these boundaries can be communicated across all attendees will alleviate many anxieties and concerns about voicing. I don't want to be hugged. Yeah, okay. So another thing you can do is color code at your event. Sure, okay, whatever. Feedback forms. Yeah, okay, man. Holy shit. Personal safety. Make sure you eat food. Make sure you drink water. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Like, it's just, shut the fuck up. People know this. K Neon Wolf is here. Hello. Says, this does explain why these DSG, ESG cultists act the way they do. Can see them having full meltdowns if they're not told what to do every minute of the day and super glue the safe room door shut. Exactly. It's like, they need to be babied so hard that the people organizing the events for them at this point are like, okay, let's make sure that, you know, everyone's fine. Let's make sure that we give them 10 wristbands and name badges, and we give them a little room in a corner. And let's also make sure, again, at the beginning of this fucking article is talking about if you're making an event for a gaming, make sure that people don't feel like there's too much alcohol involved. Make sure that women feel comfortable with men. Yes, that was in the first few pages of this. If you're making an event, are the women comfortable with the men being there? Can the women handle the men being there? I've been to fucking tons of gaming conventions, never had a problem with guys being there. In fact, I'm friends with some guys, literally, because I went to those gaming events and we all have gaming in common and they're part of my friends groups now. I don't need to be segregated. I can handle that a man is at a gaming event. A gaming event which is predominantly male because that is the market that it attracts. I'm not saying there's no women in gaming. I'm not saying that it's all men. I'm not saying any of that. But it's very clear that there are a lot of men in gaming, and that's fine. I don't think there's a problem with that whatsoever. That is totally normal. That's totally fucking normal. I don't need to be part of the like 10% that's segregated from the men because, oh, we can't handle it. The women can't handle it. Or like worse off, essentially the framing of this is like, do you really want to invite the men? So like, do you want to have your event of just like 10% of the women, so you have like 5 people at your gaming event, because the hundreds of men that would have showed up to talk about video games and hang out with people, they're not allowed because it makes the 5 women uncomfortable. Like, this is just beyond retarded. Beyond retarded. As Imp put it, Kay, we all know you're not a woman. There are no women in gaming. True. And Imp also says, this whole fucking thing reads like they're trying to wrangle children. They literally treat people like children. Exactly. The whole like first 2 pages I was reading was just talking purely on like, oh, well, you know, you don't have too much alcohol, just in case. And it's just like, we're all fucking adults, man. Anyways, yeah, this is just telling me now, oh, make sure you eat and sleep and drink water, like fucking basic human things that we use to live. Like, I really need to be told that. Oh, look at the thank yous. See, this is what I care about, okay? Because, like, yeah, you're gonna fucking make me read all this fucking shit, okay? That's all fucking common sense. Let's look at the list of thank yous. What is the first thank you? You guys recognize this name? Feminist Frequency? Does that ring a bell? Jaylyn from Feminist Frequency? Well, I don't know who the fuck you are, Jaylyn. You're probably one of the 3 women in that picture that we all know. Thank you, Feminist Frequency, for telling me that I can't drink alcohol at a gaming event because I can't handle my liquor, and that I might get assaulted or something because there's alcohol involved, and that, oh, should we invite the men? I don't know. Oh, maybe we should have like 10 different badges. Maybe we should just like have a billboard on us at this point to explain every little tiny fucking need we have for this one-day event for like 8 hours where we're all just like gaming and having fun, but let's have this huge billboard on us to tell us exactly everything so everyone in the room can worry about my little tiny issue that no one fucking cares about. We're just here to have fun. Code Coven. Don't know what you are, but now, you know, you're on my radar too for being like, what the fuck? Why are you fucking writing in this shit? Women in games. Modulate. Like, this is just fucking insane. Anyways, so this was announced today. Like I said, guys, there was a tweet today. Safe in our world. We've teamed up with takethis.org TakeThis.org is the people that wrote this article 2 days ago responding to Gamergate 2. If you're reading this, you've probably heard about what's now being called Gamergate 2. Really unoriginal, retarded name, and everyone's laughing at you. It's the latest targeted harassment campaign within the gaming industry. It's aimed at Sweet Baby. So these people who, by the way, this responding to Gamergate 2, whatever shit, this website is being funded by the Department of Homeland Security. And now, a few days before GDC, they partner with Safe in Our World, and they're trying to create guidelines for when you go to gaming events in case, anything happens. And yeah, it's all fucking insane, guys. Like, we don't need this shit. I think everyone is smart enough to know that they can just show up to an event and it's fine. They don't need fucking 20 pages to tell them how to enjoy that event or what's going on. It's just, oh my god. And all of this is sourced because gamers have an issue with bad writing in video games. We just want good quality content, and now you're accusing some fucking Brazilian guy who, by the way, Cabrutus, shout out to you. You are one of the nicest guys I've met. You're awesome. I've had so much fun talking to you. I've had the blessing of being on not one but 2 shows with you. You've hopped into our chat and showed us your music and everything, and I've DM'd you a little bit. It's been a really fun time getting to know you. You're a really cool fucking dude. And these people are panicking because you made a page about Sweet Baby's games on Steam so that people can know, oh, this game is credited by this company. Cool, I don't feel like playing it. All of this has now spurred into the government getting involved. The government getting involved, writing these articles now, these little event safety things. Everyone's freaking out about harassment, still don't really understand what it is. Because we just want good quality products. This is the absolute state of the fucking world. No one can fucking handle anything. So, Jesus fucking Christ, guys. This is just, it's insane. It's fucking insane. And, like I said, we do our podcast every 2 weeks. And we will still focus on stories around that. But the reason why this show is now being birthed is because there's too much news going on. And James and I have a commitment that we do want to cover as much gaming news as possible on this channel, even if it's getting into spicy topics like this where it might feel a little bit more political. We still want to at least be honest with the state of the industry because we both are really passionate about preserving it and about making it, what its former glory was, which was having fun and enjoying video games. So we'll still have all the gaming fun, guys. We'll still be playing a lot of games here. We'll still be, doing our community events, everything. But this show in particular during the day is to alleviate some of the amount of news that's coming out. Because this shit's happening by the hour. This happened a few hours ago that this thing dropped. And even that took me like almost an hour to go through just to see all this fucking slop that they're writing. So that was the Safe in Our World article. And guys, I want to keep going. We've been going for, almost 2.5, 3 hours. But I want to have some fun because I realized that a lot of you were not necessarily here during the 2014 days, or maybe you were and you missed a few things. That's totally fine. I still to this day do not have a complete comprehensive knowledge of everything that's happened because it was 10 years ago and things would happen every 5 minutes. But there is one thread in particular that I really want to get into. And I know I said we'd get into the Sweet Baby Wikipedia, but maybe I'll save that for me and James tomorrow, or maybe I'll do another show next week where we go into that because it's fucking Wikipedia. Like, we know it's all going to be a hit piece and shit, so whatever. But let's have some fucking fun. Let's laugh about some shit. There is a thread by Bro Team Pill that I just fucking loved. And he made this thread when all of this shit kind of started hitting the fan and everyone's like, what is going on in gaming? What the fuck is all this shit? So I'm just going to close some tabs because there's just so many. It's like all this. There's the Wikipedia article there. What else do I have open here? Yeah, the fucking guy earlier. Fuck you. Fucking idiot. I'll leave those open for now just in case. But I want to go into some fun stuff here with Bro Team Pill because I fucking love this guy. For those of you who don't know, Bro Team Pill was around for a long time. He is the guy that did Life is Strange. He made fun of Life is Strange, and it's probably like one of the most entertaining videos ever. And still to this day, I go back to it. But I want to go through his thread, and I would just want to laugh along with it because we can go in a serious deep dive and all this stuff. And well, spoiler alert, I do have plans to deep dive a little bit more into some stuff on this channel as we go, just so people are kind of aware of how deep all this gaming stuff is. We will get to it. I will do more streams like this. We'll get more into it, but let's have some fucking fun. Let's laugh along with Bro Team Pill. I'm gonna try to fill in some gaps where I remember things, but even for me, like, some of this is just like, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about this. So we're gonna talk through this and have some fun. Like James said, brother man Bill. All right, so this is Bro Team Pill's thread on Gamergate and the hilarious memories. And the first thing he says is, bro, this is bringing back hilarious Gamergate memories. Arthur Chu defending women online, beating his wife offline, his dad walking out mid-lunch in his documentary, middle name is Ration, and being a racist Asian, his epileptic wife doing all the chores while he scrolls social media. So for those of you who don't know who Arthur Chu is, he was a guy that was very anti-Gamergate, and he was actually the guy that was on Jeopardy. So I'm sure we can find a photo of this guy. In case you don't remember, this guy was on Jeopardy. He also was, oh my god, he's got a whole Wikipedia page. But anyways, he was on Jeopardy. He was very anti-Gamergate. He would just cry constantly about shit. He also wrote some articles, I think one for Salon back in the day, but he was just an absolute lolcow. Yeah, it says here, writing for Daily Beast and Salon on various issues, including racism and sexism and nerd culture. Oh my god, there's so much of it. So that's Arthur Chu. He's also famously known for, and I didn't see Bro Team mention it on his thread here, but he's also famously known for advocating that one of the Gamergate meetups shouldn't be a thing. And so there was a Gamergate meetup in DC that happened. And a bunch of people were there. There was Milo Yiannopoulos was there, Christina Hoff Summers, to name a few people you might know. I think maybe Oliver Campbell. I don't remember everyone that was there. I didn't go there. But there was a bunch of people at this meetup, and they're all just hanging out. Like I said earlier, a lot of us would just hang out, have fun, meet like-minded people, and laugh at the absolute state of the gaming industry. So a bunch of people congregate at this event, and Arthur Chu is just seething online. He's crying, shitting himself, just getting mad because they're having this meetup. And he's pretty much saying that it should be silenced, and he's trying to say that people should pretty much shut this event down. And well, after all of this, a bomb threat was called into this event, and we don't know if he was responsible for it, but I'm just saying there was a bomb threat that eventually chased them all out of the building after he was advocating for so long for this event to be shut down. Why? Because a bunch of people that cared about ethics in gaming and that were laughing at all these lol cows online were fucking having a meetup, and they're hanging out. Oh no, don't let the gamers hang out. Who knows what they'll do? So that is Arthur Chu. I can't speak to the allegations of his beating his wife offline. I have no idea, but he was definitely defending women online constantly, so it would be a bit of irony if he was also doing that. And yeah, just the middle name Ration just always fucking, it always sent me. That is Arthur Chu. Oh god, this thread is so fucking good, man. I fucking love this thread. Allison Prime. If you saw me on Side Scrollers, I very, very briefly mentioned Allison Prime the other day. Allison Prime was a man pretending to be a girl to get nudes off of Gamergate women. Allison Prime was this this guy online named Stephen Polk. That's his actual name. I will say it because it was a fake name and he admitted to it, and there was a whole kill stream where everything was admitted online because guess what? His house burned down. And so he had to reveal he was really a 27-year-old man and that he pretty much needed help or whatever. So he admitted all this online. When asked if he'll make another fake identity and do this all again, he said he couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't. So this guy clearly has a problem. But he was part of Gamergate as well. And yeah, he literally just took pictures of this cosplaying girl, and he would post it as his own photos, to the point where at some point that cosplaying girl found a photo and said, hey, can you please take this down? This is a photo of me. And he just kept trying to claim and pretend that it was a photo of himself, and completely just sidelined it and wouldn't acknowledge that it was a catfishing account. So that is Allison Prime. And yeah, Allison Prime would be like, I'm this based and this is a pro Gamergate person, by the way. When I say that there was lol cows in Gamergate, they're on the pro side, they're on the anti side, it's everywhere, and it's fucking hilarious. But Allison Prime was a pro Gamergate lol cow, fucking catfish, and would literally just DM a bunch of women and be like, I'm a lesbian and you're so cute and blah, blah, blah. And like try to like elicit nudes essentially. Like when I think about all this shit, is just so fucking funny to me. Like, yeah, there's all the issues that were happening and collusion and whatever, but I think of this shit. That's why I fucking love this thread so much, because the internet was just a hilarious fucking time, guys. It was so funny. And you're gonna see more of this shit. Come on, like already with the Sweet Baby shit, we're gonna see more of it. It's just prepare for the comedy, prepare for everything, guys. And Ralph, of course, Ralph Amale himself, measuring himself at me. Like, I don't know for sure if this is what he's referring to, but at one point, Ralph really went out of his way to let people know, hey, I'm this height. Everyone's calling me a manlet. Bitch, I'm this tall. And I think he even grabbed a measuring tape at one point just to show that he was a certain height. And I believe that was because Bro Team was laughing at him for being a tiny manlet or something. I don't fucking know. But I mean, you guys know enough about Ralph watching this channel. I feel like you already know, but that was just always funny too. The Crash Override Network chat logs. On Christmas Eve, Zoe Quinn and her friends were discussing getting some Reddit ads to instigate the people they were so terrified of into harassing them online. Also just confirming what everyone knew, but so much worse. The mental illness, hatred, and desire to do harm to others for no reason was so much deeper than they could have ever fathomed. And this again is just a lot of the we're getting harassed, and they're just like harassing themselves essentially. Brianna Wu and everything she did. I mean, guys, I think at this point you know my opinion on Brianna Wu, but just to again, Brianna Wu was not a big cog in this machine at any point, but she seems to be coming up even now for whatever reason. Just some highlights of Brianna Wu. Brianna Wu at one point, there was a piece written on Brianna Wu on Steam, and that was written by the account for Revolution 60, the developer account, Brianna Wu's game, and that was used as a claim of harassment from Gamergate. At one point, there was a post on 8chan, and apparently it doxed her, and if that's true, that's awful, and I do feel for you. But the name of the person that wrote the dox is the leader of Gamergate, and she decided, oh, this account says they're the leader of Gamergate. It must definitely be those Gamergate bros that doxed me. And so this was another case of harassment that she used against Gamergate. Imagine somebody literally being, I'm part of Gamergate, and I'm going to write that I'm the leader of Gamergate, and I'm going to dox you. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just it's just fucking comical. It's just fucking comical. And then there was another death threat that she allegedly got. And within, I think, like less than 30 seconds of that being posted, she instantly quote tweeted, it was like, I'm going to talk to police. A bunch of people asked for police reports. We have not heard anything from that. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of any of that. But to this day, Brianna Wu has claimed that there is so much harassment that happened from the pro Gamergate side, and constantly would use this and weaponize this against Gamergate's arguments to just try to invalidate us. And it's just ridiculous. And that's why I'm so adamant on, I want to see proof of this stuff. I want to see what the harassment actually was, because we were constantly getting blamed for it. Jace Connors is a guy that was involved with MDE. So if you don't know what that is Sam Hyde's kind of comedy thing, $1 Million Extreme. I love Sam Hyde. He's hilarious. But Jace Connors, he almost got into, or actually I think he got into a car crash. And as he was barely crawling out, they filmed a sketch where they were jokingly saying that they were coming for Brianna Wu or something. And of course, she also used that as an excuse not to show up to an event at like PAX or something. And she said that she felt she was under threat again. So that is Jace Connors. Let's see. Talking to people who met Zoe Quinn, and each person having terrible stories about what a fucked up retard she is. She single-handedly found ways to harm so many people around her. For what? And yeah, I mean, this again goes into all this stuff with Al Kalawaka. I think it's been beaten, we've talked about this stuff so much, but there's tons of stories with Zoe Quinn, and it's just, it gets so gross and degenerate and just absolutely like state of these fucking people. And these are the people denouncing us for what? Wanting ethics in gaming, caring about having good quality games, like, it's unreal, guys. It's unreal. Anita Sarkeesian name searching herself to find I harassed her online, so she harassed me online back. Yeah, I mean, Bro Team used to get into a lot of these debates, and essentially Anita, like, all these people would just kind of search up their own names, and they'd be like, you're harassing me, because you said mean words about me, and then so they would come back equally as hard, if not harder, and try to do the same thing. Fucking Twitter fights, guys. It's just fucking Twitter fights. Bro Team says, oh shit, bro, everything Josh McIntosh did. Do you guys know who the Macintosh guy is? You might know. I will show you a little jingle that we all used to sing along to back in the day. The only thing I have is like I think it's a 10-hour loop maybe on here. I don't care about notifications. Macintosh. I think this was. Oh lord, it's been a while. It's been a fucking while. Let's listen to the loop of the beauty of this. Just everything. Just everything.
Oh my gosh, I think we've gone full Macintosh. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh, I think we've gone full Macintosh. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh, I think we've gone full Macintosh.
Anyways, we get it. This is the guy here. Jonathan Josh McIntosh, whatever you want to call him. But when we say don't go full Macintosh, that's what we're fucking talking about. And I will show the full song, Imp. I know you know the full song. We're going to get to that soon because there's a full song. But this is just like a few second clip from one. Absolutely going to play the whole song soon. He was the guy that was behind what Anita Sarkeesian was doing. And so a lot of people thought Anita Sarkeesian is the one pushing this stuff. Oh, Peach is a damsel in distress, all this kind of stuff. When in reality, Anita was so uncreative. She actually had a man behind the camera. And this guy was known to be good at propaganda. That was his whole thing. And people considered his propaganda work good. And so he would craft out all of this stuff for her. And every time you would see her on camera crying about all of this shit, that was Macintosh. She was behind the camera. And for the longest time, we all thought that they were dating. But apparently, according to Broat, I don't know this, but according to Broat, they were never a couple. They both have a kind of hatred towards normal people, autism, and they are mad no one cool wants to fuck them. Seriously, their motivation. I talked to their friends. That's amazing. But yeah, Macintosh is known as... he was really good at filming propaganda. And so he went on board with her and they were doing their whole thing and whatever. Randy Harper. Now, I don't know anything about this Randy Harper thing that he's quoting here specifically because Randy Harper was on my radar, but also I just didn't fucking care too much. But according to Bro Team Pill, Randy Harper selling her kid to a pedo for crack, real. Oh shit, then her making a Twitter account for her fake son to try to play it cool. See, he's fine. I don't even know. I don't even know where that fully comes from, but holy fuck, hilarious if true. I remember Randy Harper, but like just it was for me all those women started to blend together because they were all just crying about the same shit and I just didn't fucking care. It's like you're all fucking obnoxious. Who cares? And a lot of them were just grifting on this movement, right? Yeah, like Imp said, she was a tech bitch that went under the name Free BSD Girl. Yeah, there was a lot of weird sexual shit there too. West Coast type, sexual shit that we just, ugh, gross. James says, it's gonna get stuck in my head for another 10 years. We'll wait until I play the whole song. Excited for that? Jeff Keighley mentioning Gamergate on stage at some event. Now, I have not been able to find this clip, but I do remember him bringing it up, and it feels like it's been scrubbed from the internet. So maybe next time I'm on or whatever, we can find it. But I could not find Jeff Keighley mentioning Gamergate. But I did talk about Justin Trudeau mentioning Gamergate yesterday. So there was that article from 2015. Trudeau did a speech saying that you have to stand against Gamergate and any kind of misogyny in video games. So, just saying. Bro Team says getting Angry Joe's video taken down because he put my logo in it. The whole Angry Joe thing too. Oh my god. He did like this fucking 40-minute, what is Gamergate? And he tried doing this like nuanced, neutral take, and then everyone was ripping into him, and then he started spurging, and it was just like, it's Angry Joe, and you guys know what he's like now. It's like a whole fucking thing. Oh god. Imp says, to quote, $2,000 isn't a lot of money that would barely pay for rent for 1 month. Yeah, my God. David Gallant, yeah, he was there. I mean, again, these are all these fucking beta males that would just sneak in and they would try to go off of the movement and defend women, and we'd all just laugh at them. And, like, half of these people, I'm just like, whatever. You were there, I laughed at you, I moved on. Rogue Star releasing his game. Yeah, good for you, Rogue Star. I'm happy for you. Bro, first to find that everyone writing articles about how Gamergate is a right-wing extremist hate movement all knew each other, and a lot of them fucked Zoe. Wait, Imp, what happened to your messages? I see perturbed Pedro and ass mad Alejandro. I don't know if there's any others, but that's what I see. But bro, first to find that everyone writing articles about how Gamergate is a right-wing extremist hate movement all knew each other. A lot of them fucked Zoe. Then to find out almost each of these people were sex offenders or they got me too shortly thereafter. There was a lot of that happened. A lot. Mombot. I think that's what you were referring to, Imp, earlier. But yeah, Mombot, I don't know much about Mombot besides Mombot was on the pro Gamergate side. She was apparently a housewife in Japan in her 40s. But she was always anonymous, so a lot of people had theories that maybe she wasn't actually a female, similar to like Alison Prime situation. I have no proof to say that she wasn't a female. I'm sure there were many anonymous females, just as there were men as well. And honestly, like, oh, I'm thinking of different. Who's Based Mom? Who's Mombot versus Based Mom? Okay, I don't know. Whatever. One of them was the pro Gamergate one. What's the other one? Who's Mombot? Oh, you mean Christina Hoff Sommers. I see. Okay, but Mombot was the 40-year-old Japanese housewife. Based Mom is Christina Hoff Sommers. Okay. I was like, I always called her Christina Hoff Sommers. She was like a professor or some shit. I'm talking about Mombot, who was, the Japanese housewife or whatever. So, yeah, there was never proof one way or the other. People started to really hate her online for whatever reason. They were celebrating when she got harassed offline. Now, the reason why she got removed offline apparently was because she posted like some clip from Sony and got DMCA'd, and then her Twitter just never got reinstated, and a lot of people were celebrating that. I think that's terrible and stupid. But to my knowledge, that's why Mombot doesn't have an account anymore. It's actually because of a DMCA from Sony. But yeah, a lot of people were doing victory laps and they're stupid. And yeah, the other accusation was that Mombot wasn't actually a 40-year-old Japanese woman that was a housewife. I have no proof either way, but I don't blame women for also wanting to be anonymous. Same with men. I don't blame anybody for wanting to be anonymous and all this shit because of all the crazy shit that everyone was doing. So, Brianna Wu leaving her dog to die outside in the cold and blaming it on Gamergate. Yeah, I mean, we probably know that story by now too, but allegedly, Brianna Wu was inside freaking out over Gamergate being online and all this shit, and the dog was just outside and then eventually passed. I don't know the full thing in that. Regardless, sad that a dog passed away. Finding Brianna's past is the Blue Jean Bandit. Now, that's a new name. I don't know. But again, I never really cared about Brianna. Just like somebody that was crying constantly. Anthony Birch telling me he knows Zoe is an awful person, but he has to be on the side of the liars or else the wrong people will win. Why? How does that make any sense? He then posted our DMs and it lost him clout in the woke crowds. Then him saying he got high for the first time and had a panic attack about me, just telling the truth about our conversation. And then finding out he was posting ads for jobs at Gearbox that didn't exist, so he could fuck the women who applied. The absolute state of these fucking people. JT says Screech and autistic equals Sheev Palpatine. Oh, God. Guys, it was a funny time. My friend's actually working in video games telling me how woke types fuck everything up and never have any real competence to add to the team. Only grievance climbing. My friends in video game journalism and influencing getting mad that I'm laughing about Gamergate when it's evil and it kills women. I drop these motherfuckers entirely. Several of them would turn out to have raped women, and a few merely sexually assaulted them. Randy Pitchford's bigot song. Sexual harassment and assault was reported to him. Anthony Birch's false ads were reported to him. He didn't do anything about it. Mr. Shitface's sock puppet on stage. You brought your online fandom to real life, bro. Never do that, or else you see no one cares and they think you're an idiot. You guys want to take a break and listen to the Randy Pitchford bigot song? Why not? Do it. Let's do it. This thread is fucking great. Do you guys see why this is my favorite thread about fucking Gamergate? It's so fucking funny. Yeah, let's see. I can get the bigot song, guys. Let's listen to the bigot song. Is it this one? I think it's this one.
Now look, I love a good joke. I love a good joke.
All units, be advised. Feminism.
I'm fucking doing a whole edit. I just want the song.
So this one time it was really weird. This guy, there's this account I followed called Science Porn. Anybody follow Science Porn? I really love this account. It's really awesome. I really love this account, and they do all kinds of cool stuff. There was this one tweet that the guy made, and I'm going to read it to you because I'm curious what you guys think about it. So yeah, thanks. Actually, thanks for that. Yeah, so first woman on the moon. Houston, we have a problem. What? Never mind. What's the problem? Nothing. Please tell us. I'm fine. That was the guy's tweet. Now look, I love a good joke. I mean, for fuck's sake, I own the Duke Nukem franchise. I'm not above. But this was supposed to be my science feed, you know? And so I replied to, I unfollowed the guy, and I said, God damn it, sexist much? Have to unfollow now. Because it was kind of sexist.
Sexist much?
I've gotten a lot of hate over the years. I have never, ever gotten so much hate just for that. And I didn't direct that to the world. I literally just replied to the guy and told him why I was unfollowing him. Apparently people are watching everything I'm doing. A whole bunch of people had to spend a huge amount of time telling me what an asshole I am for having the opinion that was a sexist thing. And so I'm gonna play a song, and this song's called The Bigot Song. And I'll tell you, I didn't write the song. It's pretty funny. This is written by a friend of mine, a guy named Dave Allen, the Gruber. In fact, I think, is he up there? This guy he's everywhere. Now that you're looking at his face, you'll notice he's on TV shows, he's on commercials. He shows up everywhere. I'm gonna set this mic down. So Dave Allen wrote the song. The Gruber wrote this song. And he said, I said, hey man, can I license the song and play it for these people at PAX? And he said, you're not paying me, dude. You can do it, but you gotta thank some of the folks to help me with the song. So he wrote the song and he performs it. He's never recorded it, so if you try to find it on iTunes or something, you're not gonna find it. But Thomas Chan, J.P. Fitting, Andy Paley, and a guy named David Keckner helped him with the song, and he wanted me to mention them. Also, there's kind of a joke just after the bridge that it's
just sing the song.
Are there any Buddhists?
You don't have to explain the whole fucking song.
Anybody
just sing
is a Buddhist? Not too many of you. There's a joke about Buddhists in the song. That was written by a woman named Sarah, and it's actually pretty funny. I think even if you're a Buddhist, Sarah Watkins wrote the joke. If you don't like it, it's Sarah Watkins' fault. If you like it, I think it's funny. Anyway, this is the Bigot Song. Can you guys hear this? All right, let's see if I can do this. I'm not much of a guitar player. I'm gonna do the best I can. Nobody likes talking to... You know what? I'm gonna sing it an octave higher, because you guys are worth it.
Sing the fucking song, bro.
Nobody likes talking to a drunk unless he's buying. Nobody says hello when they're goodbying unless they're Hawaiian. Nobody tastes eggs and bacon when they're frying. That'd just be dumb, you'd probably probably burn your tongue. And nobody likes a bigot unless he's crying. Boo-hoo. Nobody much likes it when the neighbors are always prying. Nobody really likes Meg Ryan movies that much, do they? Except Meg Ryan. And even she's not really sure these days. Nobody likes the CIA, always spying and running right-wing paramilitary death squads. Nobody likes a bigot unless he's crying. Boo-hoo, like a big baby. Boo-hoo, well, most people hate bigots because they're assholes, right? Judgmental agents of fear. You know who probably hates bigots even more? Who, Randy? Themselves. When shedding a tear and crying like a gamer with self-loathing and low self-esteem. Let's take the esteem down even lower now. Nobody much likes it when those Buddhists are always pacifying. One day they're just gonna fucking hit someone. Nobody likes a confused giant. Spumfy buying. You see that big dumb bastard's got it all mixed up. Nobody watches the clothes when they're drying. Unless you're stoned in a laundromat. And nobody likes a bigot unless he's crying. Boo-hoo. Nobody likes a bigot when he's crying. Sing it with me. Nobody likes a bigot when he's crying. One more time. No.
So I was gonna fucking play that all the way through, and I was like, okay, this is boring, whatever. And it's like, oh, he's telling the crowd to sing. Did anyone sing? So I stopped myself from pausing, and I didn't fucking hear anyone singing. Like, this guy is I'm embarrassed for him watching that fucking video every time. Still, like, I'm still always embarrassed for him. Song is about bigots crying. Also, a song itself is 3 minutes of crying. Also, sing it with me. Dead silence. Exactly. No one was fucking singing with him. Oh my god, this man. Holy motherfuck, man. Every time I hear that, I want to just cry laughing. It's so funny. So that's Randy Pitchford. Oh, and James sent me the sock puppet thing. Oh yeah, the sock puppet thing. Let's listen to the Tim Schafer sock puppet moment. Do you guys remember this? Again, this is what I think about when I think of Gamergate. Just all of the people that like embarrassed themselves and how funny it was. It's unreal, guys. It's unfucking real. Let's listen to Tim Schafer.
Visual art for games becomes more and more complex. Whole teams are required to create assets for games that historically were made by a single artist. These days, it could take up to 8 people to make a single piece of armor. Oh! How many Gamergators does it take to make a single piece of armor? Oh, God, I don't know. 50. 1 to do the modeling, 1 to do the materials, and 40 to tweet that it's not your shield. Okay. Again, I cannot be blamed for what the puppet says.
Absolute say these fucking people. I can't be blamed for what the puppet says. Ooh, how many people does it take to move a light bulb? Sorry, guys, that clip was quiet. I know. I tried to boost it for you, but just absolutely fucking pathetic people. Just absolutely fucking pathetic people railing against Gamergate back in the day, and just the amount of people that we laughed at. Oh my god. James says GDC 2015. GDC is right around the corner, and all the new people are going to be there. Exactly. K-Neon Wolf says woke virtue singing loser and so sad as Duke Nukem was an awesome game. 100%. We love Duke Nukem on this channel. James likes Duke Nukem forever. We might play that eventually on the channel, but God, like, it's just so fucking funny. These people, so embarrassing, so fucking embarrassing. Let's continue with this thread because I find this thread great, like I said. And yeah, further on the Randy Pitchford thing, he left a flash drive with child pizza, we know what that means, on it at the medieval times. And to this day, how did he get away with it? None of us fucking understand. None of us get it. Oh my god, none of us get it. Okay, let's see. Alex Lifshitz. Sorry, you have a funny name, Alex. I'm sure you're fine. Zoquin's boyfriend at the time getting a Deus Ex tramp stamp with friends that would later just tell others how fucked up they both are and the regret. No regret about the tramp stamp until the friends betrayed. Sarah Nyberg. Oh my god, Sarah Nyberg. That was a disgusting individual who I'm pretty sure diddled one of their close younger relatives. That is the accusation. I'm going to kind of leave it at that because I'm just so disgusted by this person, if that is all true. Bro Team says, I think I went into depression after because nothing was as funny as Gamergate. A custom cell phone every day, sometimes twice. No media can deliver like this to me. No fiction, no spectacle. And I think that's just, it's perfect because it's so fucking true. Like, the amount of comedy we got, I didn't need fucking television. I was on Twitter laughing at this shit all day. I didn't need anything else. You could just laugh at this shit all fucking day. Peter Coffin and Toilet. The fact that he married his stalker who pretended to be a woman from Japan. Song a day guy making the beta song. I told you it was going to come up. And posting a video where he got in trouble with his wife for being a shitty husband and father. He admitted neglecting them because he was addicted to the Gamergate fame. These people were fucking addicted, man. They were addicted. They couldn't stop fighting with us, anything. Well, guys, we're going to listen to the beta song because holy fuck. They made the song seriously. I want to make that clear. A lot of people thought this was a parody when it came out. They made this song seriously. This was supposed to be an own, okay? And this also has Peter Coffin, of course. Let's get into it.
It's not your fault. Must be those feminine. Must be those women who won't have sex with you. I'm a beta and I'm a beta.
This is not a parody, guys. This is a real song they made.
Domination and total power. These are not things we crave. Our self-worth is not contingent on how many women we've laid. Never felt comfortable acting invulnerable. Never felt compatible with acting infallible. I never felt entitled enough to act hostile. Never felt exceptional just cause my genitals. Full Macintosh.
These were the men that we were dealing with that were defending women and crying online. They got to a point where they were making songs unironically calling themselves beta. Unironically calling themselves fucking beta because they thought it was an own. Oh, you think we're beta cucks? Okay, we're beta cucks then. Holy shit, man. And yeah, as James says, welcome to Game Ranks. I'm beta as fuck. Oh, Lord. Imp says, imagine if the dude actually made, like, real songs without dumb fuck politics. He might actually have a following and career. Peter Coffin sitting there just kind of uncomfortable. Hey, I hope your blow-up doll is doing well there, sir. For those who don't know, there was an image, it was low pixel, and pretty much, people thought, is that a blow-up doll? What is that? Because these guys would brag about having girlfriends and shit. Oh, we're just not the type of men that, like, act like alpha males, but we totally have, like, we have girlfriends and all this shit. So apparently there was 2 girlfriends this guy had, and one of them, it looked like it was a blow-up doll, and people would make fun of that. And literally because somebody made fun of it on their blog, he sent what we think is a fake lawyer email, pretty much saying, like, DMC, take this down or else. And then after that, the person doubled down and laughed at them more. And he went live and was like, how could you do that? How could you say that about me? What if I killed myself? What if I fucking killed myself? And it's just... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. James, what did you find here? Oh, my God, guys. Oh, my God. I haven't seen this before. My goodness. That guy was such a fucking beta, man.
Right here on this stage, please welcome the groin kicker himself, Peter Coffin. Pete, how you doing? I am good, Steve. By the way, I gotta show you this. Step over here. Did you notice how Peter was walking out? This is the look of a guy that's fitting to kick himself in the nuts.
That's exactly what it is, Steve.
I'm telling you, man. Let me get on this side, because I mean, hey, come on, Peter, let me see.
All right, here we go.
I don't remember this, no. I don't.
I'm just going to stay here for a second.
Did he just, like, self-own his balls? Like, what the fuck just happened? Holy fuck. Oh, Lord. Shit. Remember Leigh Alexander? I am a megaphone. I am games journalism. Fired from writing about toys for trying to ridicule the audience. Consulted on games that utterly sunk. Dead right out of the gate. Well, I'm not going to get into Leigh Alexander today because there is a little bit that I'm going to be covering next week about Leigh Alexander. We're going to be doing more of these. We're going to keep deep diving into these fucking people. It says, fuck, remember when Derek Smart got involved? Randy Harper talked to him on the phone and she said he was creepy and was hitting on her. Then he found out and posted online, are you kidding me? Have you seen my wife? And then posted a photo of his gorgeous wife. I remember this. It was like the biggest fucking own ever. It's like, why the fuck would I hit on you when I have my fucking hot wife at home, you fucking retard? Fuck, man. Fuck. Oh, God, this thread. There's so much good in here. Okay. Okay, we gotta keep going through this. I think some people might know who Allison Rapp is. If you don't know who that is, she worked for Nintendo's Treehouse in translation. I don't know what her role was necessarily, but she worked at Treehouse at the time. And this was like a big contentious topic because Allison Rapp was moonlighting. So as Bro has said, Jesus Christ, do you remember Allison Rapp? Can't remember her connection to Gamergate. She didn't really have a connection necessarily. She was just somebody who worked at Nintendo through Treehouse and decided to moonlight as in be a prostitute by night. And Nintendo found out. Oh, she was PR. She was Nintendo's PR, as he said in here. She worked for Nintendo PR. Yeah, she wrote a paper on why the age of consent should be lowered, which is fucking disgusting. And then, yeah, it turned out she was a prostitute. Nintendo fired her fast. And I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. Some people were celebrating this. Some people are saying you shouldn't fire someone based on what they're doing in their free time. You're Nintendo's PR and you're a prostitute and writing about why the age of consent should be lowered. I mean, I think Nintendo had a bit of an argument there, I'm just gonna say. Like, I'm not really a fan of, you know, people getting fired for what they do in their free time, but that's a big stretch. Like, that's pretty rough. So, yeah, and it was all on the primary account. That's the problem. Like, it was a whole fucking thing. But anyways, that's what happened with Allison Rapp. Apparently, but yeah, the official reason, and as in Black Belt said, the official reason was having 2 jobs, essentially. It was the official reason they fired her. She made her husband get a cock ring and encouraged him to fuck other women so it'd be okay if she fucked a bunch of guys. He divorced her and revealed how unhinged she was and how he hated doing all that shit. She went by Miss Maria Mint, high-class escort, $1,200 per date. But yeah, as in Black Belt said, she was directly in against her employment contract, essentially, with what she did. So, and that was to do with having 2 jobs. So that is why she got fired. But that was always a heated issue. Some people agreed, some people didn't. I just kind of was like, whatever. There's funnier things to laugh at. So, remember Margaret Pless? I do not remember Margaret Pless. So if anyone else does, let me know. But I don't remember Margaret Pless at all. Remember Dr. Pizza, game journalist, Twitter Zoe defender, looked for people to attack in her name, then wrote an article about how problematic a gaming conference was because they had female dancers, and he was caught trying to purchase stuff he shouldn't be. Uh-oh. Matt Hickey. Oh my god, I forgot about Matt Hickey, but now oh my god. Matt Hickey was this game journo. I think he was based in Seattle, and he was writing for one of these like news outlets, and it was found out that he was being super feminist online, but in actuality he used to like groom women essentially. So let's read what Broad says about it. But yeah, he was grooming women, and I think he's still in jail. Like he was put in jail very quickly for this shit. So this is Matt Hickey, games journalist, same deal, tricked women into fucking him by creating a female sock puppet account who recruited women for porn, told them that they had to first fuck her friend Matt, the camera guy, to see if they could fuck strangers. He got arrested, many women came forward, and he's in prison now. While he was still free, he fled and changed his website to say only, "Don't believe what you read about me online." This guy was the most sex pest of sex pests. I remember how fucking creeped out I was by him. And I didn't even talk to him. He seemed very fucking creepy. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, Matt Hickey. Matt Hickey. And then there was Stephen Totillo, who used to be an editor of Kotaku. I think he's gone independent now. Running the Grand Theft Auto Taught Me to Drive. It was about a strong, independent black woman who had difficulty getting her driver's permit, taking to GTA to learn how to drive and obey traffic laws. Turned out it was totally made up. The submitter of the story, a white male, kept it secret until much later when he gently mentioned it on a gaming stream. I admired his discipline. He did it only for his own satisfaction and maybe a few friends, and was prepared to just let it go. Kotaku left the article up but put a disclaimer on it. I'm fucking dying, bro. This is all so good. Yeah, I don't know if this article is still up, but let's see. It's still up. It's still fucking up. Several days ago, a woman named Lucia emailed me to tell me the positive impact Grand Theft Auto 4 had on her life. The game helped her make a strong, independent black woman. She told me hers was not the kind of email you get every day, certainly not about a game like Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto. Update, hoax. This story appears to have been based on a hoax that was intended to trick us into publishing a fake article. An indie developer said as much online last night and in a subsequent email to me, saying that he and a friend decided to play a harmless prank to see which of the emails they sent to Kotaku in Q2 2013 was result in a story. I I should have known something was up when the person who contacted me with their driving anecdotes declined to share a photo of their driver's license. They said it was out of fear of a racist reaction if the photo was made public. That should have been a red flag. Instead, in my interest in highlighting positive gamer experience involved in oft criticized game, I didn't vet this person's story with the rigor I do with anonymous sources for more weighty stories. I messed up. How frustrating. A win for hoaxers. My apologies to our readers. And then the original story below. We don't care about the fucking story. That's just all fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. James has sent me stuff on Margaret Pless. Are they interesting? Oh, I remember her now. I'm seeing the fucking face. Yeah, she was just somebody who doxed a lot of people. I mean, we're gonna do many more of these streams, so we can always dig into her at some point. But yeah, that's just these fucking people, man. They're so pathetic. Yeah. Oh god, Dan Olsen, the foldable human. He downloaded Child Pizza from a Chan site and then re-uploaded it to Own GG. He got a visit from the RCMP telling him to never do that again. So this guy, Dan Olsen, he was really trying to prove that 8chan was hosting Child Pizza, which you guys know what that is. Unfortunately, it's very disgusting. But he was trying to prove that 8chan was having this like on their site, and they had like groups of people that were doing it and whatever. But he was later caught getting somebody else to post the material on the site to incite it. And their claim was, we're just doing this so that we can get those people out of the, we can shine a light on them and we can get them to congregate here, and then we're going to catch them. But yeah, he ended up apparently getting someone else to post stuff. And so then the RCMP got involved and were like, what the fuck are you doing? And just please don't. It was fucking weird. And we still don't know to this day if this was all like a story created by him or if this stuff was actually happening or what the intention was. It's never been clear, but that was just a whole fucking trip too. It was like, we really want to prove that these 8chan like gamer people are doing this shit, and then we're gonna try to like honeypot them by doing exactly what we're accusing them of doing, which is very illegal and it's so retarded, guys. If your actual goal was to bring light to it and to get these people in trouble for doing that kind of stuff, good on you, Dan, but like you did it wrong, man. You did it wrong. Kenyon Wolf says, seems these game devs and journalists have the same morals as most politicians and are just as depraved. Yeah, there's tons of this fucking shit, man. And I'm just scratching the surface. Like, there's going to be more streams. I'm going to go into some of these journalists and stuff that they were up to. Not necessarily that they're, like, sex pests and stuff like that, but just the corruption involved in how they were conducting themselves during all of this and why we pointed out the collusion to begin with. We'll absolutely go into these in the next few weeks. Patricia Hernandez. You guys remember Patricia Hernandez? She's actually still active to this day. She's an ex-Kotaku or Polygon. They're all the same to me. I don't fucking know. But she used to write with them. And I think she actually wrote an article recently about Mr. Beast. I have not looked at that. I don't really care. But she's still very, very active. But Patricia Hernandez was traumatized by telling someone she owned in Gears of War that she graped them. She got Zoe to move in with her and told her that she'd make her a superstar. Wrote a few shitty articles about her. Zoe was mad that she didn't make her big, having done zero work on her own to make this happen. So this was one of the people that was giving coverage to Zoe Quinn at the time. This was a roommate of Zoe Quinn. And they didn't, like, disclose any of that kind of stuff publicly. Like, this was very hidden until people discovered all of that. So I'm going to dig more into Patricia Hernandez as well next week because I've got quite a bit on the stuff that she's done. But the ethics in gaming there is not fucking there, let me tell you guys. Like, it's fucked. It's fucked how these people are. And there's other people that were also doing stuff for Zoe Quinn that it's like Stephen Totillo at one point was like pretty much saying, well, we didn't give positive coverage, we just gave coverage. But then like the person that was giving coverage would be on like trips with her to Vegas 3 months before that, and it's like this is so disingenuous and stupid, man. Like, go fuck yourselves. Dude says, I'm back. Going to start my stream a little later tonight since I just finished a little of my lawn work today. Nice, man. RNG Gaming podcast said, when they attempted to take down Mr. Beast and it failed harder than the French in World War II. Dude's asking what he missed. Should we listen to? Should we beta as fuck? Should we go beta as fuck? I'm gonna play like 5 seconds so dude understands what he missed. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. It's gonna be stuck in your heads forever. It's torture. I know. Just a little. Why is there a mirror of it? I want the one that we played. This is what you missed, dude. Yeah.
And we're both beta as fuck. If you're looking for an alpha male here, then you're shit out of luck.
If you're looking for a beta or an alpha male here, you're shit out of luck, man. That's what we were listening to. I've been just doing a deep dive on this bro team pill thread that's amazing, that summarizes Gamergate really well. And like I've said to people, like, it's not going to stop here necessarily. In the next few weeks, I'll go through and talk more about some of these journalists and what they were actually up to during that time and why it was such a big deal to us back in 2014, what they were acting like. So, yeah, it's oh god, it's just all fucking crazy. The Sarkeesian effect. Does anyone remember the Sarkeesian effect? This kind of got dusted under the rug. It was a very weird situation. So Davis Arini and the other guy, I don't remember the other guy's fucking name. Dude was afraid Davey was going to hack his R-type brain, and they got kicked off a plane for arguing if Roosh, an online pickup artist, had sex in Norway or not. Men in their mid-30s. What the fuck? The Sarkeesian Effect was a documentary that was made, and essentially it was to cover both sides of it, but there was a lot of weird credibility issues with the people that were actually involved, and at the end, no one wanted to share this documentary. Essentially, it was considered the closest thing to a Gamergate documentary that never, like, fully panned out. And yeah, there's a lot there. We can also dig into that next week if we want, but it always was very inconclusive. It was just a lot of weird people. And Matt Myers. Do you remember Matt Myers? The only thing I remember about Matt Myers is exactly what Broat is mentioning here. And that is, he got Me Too'd as in a bunch of women accused him of sexual harassment. And his response was, that can't be possible because I'm a gay furry. No, there's no way I harassed any women because I'm a gay furry, folks. It can't, it didn't, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Oh my god, guys. What a fucking deep dive we went into today. We got to talk about a lot of stuff. And yeah, I mean, we're going to talk more about this stuff. We'll still have the podcast tomorrow and we'll go through our usual stuff. But there's just been so much fucking news that we've had to cover. There's so many people we've had to laugh at today. Journos that are just fucking losing their shit. Just everything, just fucking everything. I wanted to show some blasts from the past, some people that are still lingering to this day, creating shit. Most importantly, I wanted you guys to know how funny it was back in 2014. You're gonna hear all this dramatic shit, all this whatever. There was a lot of comedy too. There was a lot of fucking comedy too. So, with that being said, I'm gonna start winding this down. You will see us live again on Thursday, which is tomorrow. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. And I'm just going to read the last few comments here on YouTube, and we'll do a little goodbye skis. Okay. RNG Gaming Podcast says, speaking of Steve, I posted a screenshot from his interview for MLB The Show. Oh my god. And Imp says, I just turned on music. I got to tune out for now. I have a few things I need to do. Well, don't worry, man. We're winding down here too. Like I said, there will be plenty more of this stuff. Some of it will be laughing at the new stuff. Some of it will be revisiting some of the old stuff. There was just so much to cover. A lot of parallels, but a lot of things that are new with this group too, and definitely like them trying to jump over steps and act differently. Dude says Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is at 276K now. Awesome. You love to see it. You love to fucking see it. Okay, guys. Okay. We've had enough fun today, haven't we? We're gonna close this one out. Let me get my little goodbye screen. And I know I said we were going to talk about Sweet Baby. We will still, like with the Wikipedia, but either we'll do it tomorrow or, I don't know. We'll find time. It might be on the Melee Madness podcast. It might be fucking, I don't know. It might be next week. But I'm going to play some DJ and Paul and send us out. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your day with me. It has been a wild one. There's a lot that's happened. You'll definitely see more of us very, very soon. We've got the Mail and Madness podcast tomorrow. On Friday, we've got our Mario Maker event. And Sunday, we're back to Steam Roulette, so you'll see a lot of us. And yeah, have a good one, everyone.